Fans have been lining up to get into Vandermeer Speedway. The next best seat in the house is in your living room. This summer tradition is in its 22nd year, and the pits are jammed with race cars and fans. The sun is beating down on Denver. The temperature could go as high as 95 degrees, and souvenir hats are a hot item at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals. Hey, Dad, what are you going to do? Wait a minute, I thought you were buying that for your son.
The Top Fuel Points race tightened up after Kenny Bernstein went down early in Pomona. Now, the top 5 are separated by just 249 points. And with John Force's win number 96, is the funny car race now for second place? At the moment, that belongs to Del Worsham. And it's true, John Force has a huge lead over Del Worsham in the points, but John was very quiet in qualifying here in Denver, comes in number 7, equaling his worst qualified start of the year. But his other 2 cars, Tony Pedregon, Gary Densham, both in the top half of the field. Force could win for the 4th time here in Denver this weekend, and he'll probably get a lot of help from his other 2 drivers if he does. Dave Reed?
1996, Bill, was the last time Kenny Bernstein was in contention for the Top Fuel Championship heading into the Western Swing. His best result that year, a runner-up finish in Sonoma to Blaine Johnson. The King of Speed did go on to win the title. However, if you look at his career in Top Fuel, the stats aren't much better on the Western Swing. Only 1 win here in 1992 and 2 runner-ups. So history is working against him as he tries to protect the 62-point lead. But this weekend, the Bud King crew is hitting on all 8. 468 in the final qualifying session against the number 1 qualifier, Gary Scelzi, means KB's ready to write a new chapter on the swing.
ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, presents the National Hot Rod Association. Celebrating 50 years of power, it's the golden anniversary of NHRA Winston Drag Racing. Today from Vandermeer Speedway in Morrison, Colorado, just west of Denver, it's the 22nd running of the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals. And the temperatures are soaring. 87 degrees right now. It could go as high as 95, and there is not much breeze. And track temperature already at 118 degrees. Engines have come to life. Hello, everybody. Marty Reed alongside Winston Funny Car Champion from 1992 is Bruce Pedregon. And you're looking at Darrell Russell. Darrell, the number 8 qualifier. And that is Rhonda Hartman-Smith. Rhonda, yesterday, in the number 9 spot, runs a 486, and the car erupted into flames. And it was a wild moment for her, and they worked all night to get this car back together.
It was a major fire, Marty. One thing I've noticed is these Top Fuel drivers, I've seen a couple, we saw Paul Romine's a couple races ago where the fire's actually getting into the cockpit. That might be something they may have to look at, but the question I have, did they put all the wiring, all the plumbing? Because when these cars burn all the wiring, that's really a tough task to rebuild all that stuff.
Checked with her right before the session, and they were having a clutch problem with this car, so they do not feel real confident coming into this round. And how can you after a moment like that? For Darrell Russell, he's got a little bit of pressure. His boss, Joe Amato, has won this event 6 times, including last year.
Darrell Russell really hasn't put the performance together like I felt they would coming into this event, but here we are, first round. The winner moves on, the loser goes home.
These 2 have never met in competition, so it's round 1 between Darrell Russell and Rhonda Hartman. Smoke and a bit of a concussion on Darrell Russell, and Rhonda Hartman, as you see, just coasting on through. A 5:32 at 2:04, so not a lot of answers, just a round victory for Darrell Russell.
Well, Rhonda's car's going to just lose a cylinder right as she hits the throttle, and from that time she didn't have the car speed. Once it lifted, got the cylinder back up, the tires went square, smoked the tires. By that time, Russell was at the finish line.
Now let's take a look at the Pontiac top qualifiers, and you can see that in Top Fuel it was number 32 for Gary Scelzi, the 11th and 4th here at Denver for Whit Bazemore, the 13th for Bruce Allen, and number 5 for Antron Brown. And it's great to have you with us here today. And Cruz, we talk about those number 1 qualifiers. it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Gary Selzy, #1 here last year, he got punched out by Jim Cavallari.
First round, as any driver or crew chief will tell you, it's the most nervous. You think about it all night. You come out here, an unproven racetrack, and anything could happen. The key for these top qualified cars is to not smoke the tires, because if they make a mistake, the other car will nip you and get you out of there.
Well, and Whit Bazemore was #1 here last year. Again, he is #1 this year. He won the event, so who can tell? That's why we run the race. Now, if you were with us yesterday, you know that the U.S. Geological Survey crew was with us, and we found out that we are grounding and pounding at about a 2 on the Richter scale. Now, how far that extends, we're going to find out. They're the guys working on putting the sensors into the ground, and the crew is now a mile away from the track, and there's some of the initial readouts that we saw yesterday. And second...
Coming on. I've noticed the Montana Express car the last 4 or 5 races really turned things around. They have yet to punch it in for a win, but it could happen.
Both cars do the burnout. Darrell Russell's at the far end with Bill Stevens.
First arrow, tricky racetrack, sunshine. You breathing easier now? A little bit, but it's hard breathing up here on this hill, I can tell you that. No, that was a good run. I mean, I don't know if you can see it on TV, but it shook the tires a little bit, but I drove through there. And then I think it started smoking the tires towards the top end. And then I pedaled it once, and I heard it go pop. And then, you know, fortunately, we got to the finish line first. But, you know, for Valvoline Keystone, we're going to the next round. A bunch of drivers were tossing before they got to sleep last night, I guarantee you.
Bill, that's a great description by Darrell Russell. That's exactly what I saw as an analyst up here. He described it exactly what you're seeing out there, and that's what the driver felt. He was right on all of his points.
David Grubnick, as he backs the Montana Express into position. We talked about the fact he's made 4 good passes this weekend down the track. And going up against Doug Herbert, the last time these two raced was round 1 at St. Louis, and Grubnick won that one. And for Doug Herbert, well, he was runner-up here in 1993, and of course, he's coming off that big win at Pomona.
Big win, and there's another car that didn't quite get unwound here going this weekend after that big win at Pomona, but you see Herbert doing this legendary pumping himself up, hitting himself in the helmet there, but he's going to have to be on his game here, because like we talked about, Montana Express, David Grubnick car is going to go down the racetrack. Say that, look what happens.
Doug Herbert in the right lane runs a 5:02 at 289. You saw some smoke, and smoke also coming out of David Grubnick's car as he's making the early turnoff. So problems for the oh boy Oberto Montana Express, and they're out of here. Take a look at the ladder, and you'll see Russell has advanced. He'll meet the winner of Gary Selzy and Bobby Lagana. And Schumacher Passy, a battle still to come. There's Herbert advancing into round number 2. Larry Dixon and John Smith also still to come. Stay with us when we come back. A lot more coming your way. Top Fuel action. There is David Grubnick having all kinds of problems in that motor. Both sides in trouble. And there are the flames as we take a commercial break here at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals at Bandimere Speedway.
And yours. That's the Mopar difference.
Hi, I want the Goodyears you have on sale.
Okay.
And I want free mounting.
Sure.
And free rotation anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And I want the die-hard battery, too. For free.
No problem. Come on. At Sears Auto Center, all Goodyear tires are on sale, and now buy 4 Goodyear tires and get a free die-hard battery. Sears, America's #1 tire retailer.
Is this free?
Yeah, I'm a flagman, 3rd-generation flagman. I do my best work for the Suzuki GSX-R line. Each one is special. The GSX-R 600 is agile, aerodynamic, so it's light, like a bird. Like a bird. And the 750 wins everything because it's quick. Like a cat. And the all-new GSX-R 1000 is just going to dominate racing. And all that power and super lightweight, I'm going to be like... Ah, okay, there, it's my back. The old back. Ah!
Welcome to Extreme Excitement 101.
The NHRA Pro Stock Pontiac Grand Am, driven by Warren the Professor Johnson. Class is now in session. Suck up. The 2001 Grand Am GT, Extreme Excitement by Pontiac.
Today's Speed World presentation, Eliminations of the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals, is being brought to you by Mopar. Parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles. From the dealership that sell and install them, that's the Mopar difference. By Sears, the good life at a great price, guaranteed. And by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. Off into the distance, the Continental Divide. In fact, at sunrise, the shadow from some of these mountains, like Pikes Peak, extend 50 miles. Pretty impressive up here. The air awfully thin, as we're finding out, as we are racing at Vandermeer Speedway. And it is the 22nd time we've been here for the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals. Third pair of Top Fuel cars coming your way now. And we've got Paul Romine on the right-hand lane, Mike Dunn in the left lane. Bill Stevens.
This is a big race for Mike Dunn, Marty. If he doesn't win this matchup with Paul Romine, that team will have lost in the first round of the 3 consecutive races they've gone to. And I've got to tell you something, if they have any championship pretensions at all, this is a very important round for them.
Well, they are 2-0 in their career over Paul Romine. Dunn won here in '93, was runner-up to Scott Coletta in '94, but he has lost in round 1 at the last 2 races, St. Louis and Pomona. As Bill pointed out, can't afford it here.
Yeah, we've talked, what I've seen the first couple of runs here, Marty, is we've seen the guys just are not making the adjustments to these tracks a little hotter than they anticipated. And the key to victory here for both these cars is to not smoke the tires. I talked about it at the top of the show.
Unbelievable. Romine with a 418 light and a smoking tire going away for Mike Dunn and a 491 at 264. And Paul Romine in our first upset of round number 1, Dave Reed.
154 miles an hour, and out of the number 11 spot, all along in the car crush machine.
Well, Dave's obviously got a bit of a glitch. We'll try and catch up with him. There's Paul Romine. Remember, burned his hands a couple races ago, and as he is getting out of the car and taking helmets off, we'll go back into the pits because Funny Car is coming up, and Del Worsham is back there. Del in the number 16 starting spot, your lowest qualified position. And I was talking to your dad. He mentioned this is the first time you've come to this race really with the proper equipment for running at altitude.
Yeah, we changed some stuff thinking it would be better for the altitude, and it was that we went back to our old stuff for yesterday. The car picked up. We made a couple nice runs yesterday.
So how confident are you going into this round?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to do our best job not to smoke the tires. You know, we ran a couple 509s yesterday, one in each lane. I think that 509 is going to look good right now.
Well, you got Whit Bazemore, and you know his track record here. He loves this place.
Yeah, I know, but you know, we're going to go out there, go down the track, do the best job we can, and I think we'll give him a run.
Well, we love the new paint job. For those that were with us, and we'll let you go because we know you got to get suited up, but that Jurassic Park 3 paint job on that car is pretty sharp.
No, it is. Yeah, it's great, you know, and I'm definitely proud to be running it for Jurassic.
All right, thanks a lot. We got to go to the far end, catch up with Paul Romine.
No blower belt on that engine, Mr. Romine, but more fun than being on fire, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, you know, we just, it made it to the end, though, you know, and that's a good thing. Yeah, we're looking good. We're great for the next round, and CarQuest is here, and me and Herbert are still in, so that's a good deal.
First time in his career he has beaten Mike Dunn.
And he mentioned Doug Herbert. Herbert owns both those cars, so they have both advanced. Now we got looking at Joe Hartley. He's over in the right lane, qualified number 12 at a 508. He's got a tall order. Doug Coletta in the number 5 spot. But Doug's only good pass was yesterday in the final round when he ran that 472.
That's right, and it was the last pass. It was a lot cooler then, and like I said earlier, and Del Worsham, you just heard him, he cannot smoke the tires. Look at the winning times. They've not been very good. But if you do not make that mistake of smoking the tires, the next challenge is blower belt. You got to keep the blower belt on the engine. That's the key.
swiftly.
There's another blower belt.
Goes up in smoke, and a 485 for Doug Kalita at 270 miles an hour. And the man who has won 3 times this year on the 2001 Tour advances to the second round. Bill Stevens?
Mike, when we talked to you yesterday during the qualifying show, we sort of had the feeling you weren't feeling too great about your chances today.
Well, we were having some problems qualifying. Usually, lately we've kind of been able to get together on, eliminations. At least early in the season we could, but troubles came up again. Idle went up for some reason after I went up the stage, kind of threw me off a little bit, and then went out and spun the tires. I'm sure that had something to do with it, but we'll just get her together and go get them next time, I guess.
That one hurt.
Well, it certainly did. It was Paul Romine's first round win of 2001, and it couldn't come at a more inopportune moment for Mike Dunn. He celebrates as we take commercial break. Stay with us. We're coming back to Bandamere Speedway and the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals.
I've always loved working on computers.
This is my wife. Pleased to meet you. And this is little Dougie Jr., Dougie Jr.
You're the boss? You must have a big TV.
Well, I have a few.
Do you have a satellite dish or AT&T digital cable?
I have a dish.
Then you can't get local channels unless you pay more.
I can't.
No, and you bought all expensive equipment when you could use the cable you already had.
I did?
Yeah. How'd you get to be boss?
AT&T digital cable. It's smarter.
Coordinate the lighting throughout your home with matching lighting suites from Menards. Chandeliers, wall, and ceiling lights from Design House match to make your home come alive. Choose from these elegant styles. All 20% off our low everyday prices. Save on a great selection of Sylvania bulbs for every lighting application in your home. Globe-style bulbs are free after rebate. Brighten your home with savings from Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Two-time Indy champ.
Hold it, guys. Winning's great, but you should understand why winners win.
Al's right. What are their pit strategies? How do exhaust layouts and wing adjustments figure in?
Good questions, John Kernan of RPM Tonight.
When you truly understand motorsports, the winning just gets more special.
Wow, look at the sky.
Seems like we're all winners today, Robbie.
Remember, to know is to love.
RPM Tonight, Sunday pre- and post-race on ESPN2.
Join us next weekend from Seattle for the NHRA Northwest Nationals. And Saturday we have 1 hour qualifying at 7 o'clock Eastern, followed by 2 hours at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Then on Sunday, elimination coverage begins at 6 o'clock Eastern time. All of it on ESPN2. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. So as we take a look at Mr. Magoo, and that is Don Sasenka, and Kenny Bernstein will be over in the left-hand lane, and there is Kenny's Western Swing from 2000, and he really didn't want to duplicate this effort in 2001.
That's right, but I look at this matchup as Jaws versus Charlie Tuna. Not taking anything away from Mr. Magoo, but let's face it, unless Kenny Bernstein messes up here, he's going to go on to the next round. And we talked about the blower belts. What's going on with the blower belts is these engines are having to spin these superchargers so fast that the blower belt is just not quite hanging on. The other thing is when it drops a cylinder, if you look out there, viewers at home, you see a cylinder go out, that puts so much more stress on these blower belts. So the key is not drop a cylinder, you keep the blower belt on.
Bernstein, you saw qualified in the number 2 spot. He ran that 4.68 in the last round of qualifying yesterday. And remember, this is the first time that Tim Richards has been on the 90% rule at altitude, and they have finally figured it out. And a 481 at 302. And round 1 goes to Kenny Bernstein as Sasenka just coasts across the line at 11 seconds. Now, how hard is it to tune these nitro cars at altitude? Well, we thought we'd talk to the guys who have that responsibility and put the question to them. Let them explain for themselves.
Well, it isn't just the motor making it run right and so forth, or the engine. It's you got to make the car stop also, and you have to get it stuck to the ground. And the wings don't work as well up here. The parachutes don't work as well. Nothing really works as well. Over the years, we found out how to make the power. So now we figured out how to go quick and fast. Now we got to figure out how to stop them.
We're probably within 10% of our normal power level, but at the same time is that our wings aren't as efficient as they are at sea level either, so we don't have the down pressure, so we don't need the same power level as we do at sea level.
Sea level, we take the blower and run 4 runs on it before we strip it. Up here, every run
I know Timmy Richards is putting the blacks in their blowers every run. You got to keep the blower real fresh, and you got to keep hot magnesiums in it all the time. And you put a lot of lead in it and a lot of air because there's no air here to run with.
So that gives you an idea. And you talk about, you heard Dick LaHaye talking about stopping the car, and just because the air is so thin, the parachutes just don't blossom as well. Runner-up last year here, and also in '97 to a racer by the name of Rory McClendon. The burnout as we go on board with Tony.
I'll tell you what, Tony Schumacher, the number 4 qualifier, looks like he should have no problems with Rob Patsy, the number 13 qualifier. Rob only getting down the racetrack 2 times in qualifying, opting to sit out. But let me tell you something. He's got a little ace in the hole, and this guy's name is Connie Colletto, one of the best guys at getting down this racetrack. He's agreed to help this team this weekend. That's why Tony Schumacher has his hands a little bit full right now.
Well, they may only help him this round because if Passy were to win, guess who he faces, Dave? Doug Coletta in round number 2. And they're going to have to run better than a 485 to get lane choice over Doug. And there is Conrad.
Yeah, I was just looking at that car. It looks like one of Connie's MGM Grand cars from a year ago. It's the same paint scheme. They look like they just peeled the decals off. And, hey, man, when you have a guy like Connie Colletto over there helping you out here, that's got to make a guy like Bob Passy feel good.
A little bit of encouragement from Don Schumacher there to his son Tony, team owner.
Advantage.
Both cars struggle, but Tony Schumacher at a 5:34 makes it down the track at 244 miles an hour. It was ugly, but he advances to round number 2. Let's go to super slow-mo and take a look at what happened.
This is where a driver really earns his paycheck. You're going to look at Rob Passy here. He's going to go up and smoke. He's going to go up and smoke a lot later. Look at the tires vibrate right there and then instantly make the car actually go up and smoke. And he stays on the throttle way too long. This is where he lost the race. And he's not even in the throttle right there. He should be hammering that thing, trying to catch Schumacher.
So let's go on board with Tony Schumacher. You can see what happens to the Army of One as we go to commercial break here at the Mopar Parts Mile High National. Stay with us.
Let me show you guys something. But it's very important it doesn't leave the 3 of us, okay? 2 counts of red. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. 3. Remember that timing is everything. And a quick dash of orange. The perfect icy. Whoa! Slow down, you get a brain freeze. Rookies.
X Games begins August 18th on ABC.
I'm just a man, just a guy and a dude, and I'm hungry. And I'm moving real fast because I'm going first class for steak at Taco Bell. Jonesing for a grilled steak, taco steak's the king of meats. So I run and I walk because I can't from a horse to ride there. Get a city, get a shake, or marinated steak at the Taco Bell. Grilled steak taco from Taco Bell.
It's new, it's steak, it's only at the Bell.
Welcome to Extreme Excitement 101.
The NHRA Pro Stock Pontiac Grand Am, driven by Warren the Professor Johnson. Class is now in session. The 2001 Grand Am GT, Extreme Excitement by Pontiac.
I don't even know why I bother. You're not even listening now, are you? Do you want to go home?
People do some strange things to cars. That's why there's Carfax. We'll give you the real history of any used car. Go to Carfax.com or ask your dealer for a Carfax report.
Dude, what are you doing? Looking for change? What? You don't need change. Just pick up the phone and dial 1-800-CALLATT. Say it with me. C-A-L-L-A-T-T.
Save big bucks on every call. Dial 1-800-CALLATT for collect calls.
Got a plate in my head.
Indy is the race that every drag racer wants to win. I'm lucky I won it in '82. I would trade every world championship I have for that Indy win.
right, Shirley Muldowney's coming back. 5 weeks. We're at Indy. 47th Annual U.S. Nationals. You're going to see 10 hours of coverage on ESPN and ESPN2. It is going to be a blast. Let's go to Bill Stevens.
Well, wasn't beautiful, but it worked.
Yeah, you know, we're going to see a lot of ugly ones out here. The mountain's tough, you know. The groove's awful narrow, and everyone's struggling. Other than a couple cars out there, everyone's puffed the tires. But, hey, you know, we got some great people that we work with the Army. Tom Tiernan, we're pulling for your family. We're all behind you. You know, we're one big partner. We're one big family. So we love being part of the Army. Gates Belts, Matco Tools, all of us. Fantastic.
This championship season in '99, he was the runner-up here in Denver.
Thanks, Bill. That is Alan Johnson bringing back the Team Winston Top Fuel Dragster. And, of course, Gary Scelzi, the #1 qualifier, was #1 here last year, got punched out by Jim Cavallari, does not want to do it again. In fact, quoted in the paper this morning as saying, I'm treating this guy in the right lane, Bobby Lagana, like it's Kenny Bernstein.
Well, he has to, and as you saw in the Schumacher incident just a few minutes ago, the driver can make a difference. So what Gary Scelzi's probably thinking in that cockpit right now, he's probably thinking, okay, if I get the tires loose, I got to be ready to pedal it and try to beat this guy.
No problem in low ET of the round, 477 at 307. So Gary Scelzi does a real nice job in round #1, Dave.
And the Demons of 1 year ago are exercised. No Jim Cavallari, not this guy. Your guys are moving up.
Well, you know, we sure are, but this is a very tricky track when the sun's out, and we're just going to be tiptoeing down there, and hopefully we can go 4 rounds.
Is this the start of a good day?
I hope so.
You're feeling it. Let's see.
Well, as Gary Scelzi rolls out, of course, that team looking for a new sponsor. As Winston, if you were with us, know about the move away from NHRA drag racing. And so both Angel Savoy and Gary Scelzi looking for new sponsorship for next year. There is the Miller Lite dragster, Larry Dixon at the wheel. He'll be over in the left lane, the #3 qualifier at a 472. And John Smith, the #14 qualifier at a 559. Here comes Larry for the burnout, waiting for him to get through. Let's catch up with Gary Scelzi. Bill Stevens.
Hey, what's everybody worried about?
Yeah, what could go wrong, right? First round, unsponsored car. Hey, you know, Team Winston, Alan Johnson, Matco Tools, Gates Belts, Pennzoil, NGK. I love you. Maybe we're going to have a little change of luck, but it's too early to crow. We went down the racetrack, and it looks like that's going to be an important thing today, just going A to B every single time.
He's now as happy after a first-round win as he is in the final round.
You're absolutely right, Bill, because they have been so few and far between. They're still looking for that elusive first victory of 2001, and we're past the halfway point of the year. And for Larry Dixon, well, he's 1-0 against John Smith, and like Scelzi, he's been dominant against anyone named Smith. He's in fact 11-1 career-wise. There is John. John has a bit of a fuel pickup problem. Was checking with the team before the started today, and they are not sure they've got it solved, Cruz.
Yeah, I've got, you know, with these top fuel dragsters, the fuel tanks are way in front there, and there's about an 8-foot-long pipe that goes back. So that could be a gremlin that could bite you. Could take a while to get that thing fixed, but he's going to need every drop of fuel to deal with the Miller Lite Larry Dixon car.
There's Ron Capps looking at his Don Prudhomme teammate. He'll be up in just a matter of moments in Funny Car. And again, it looked like the blower belt may have gone off on Dixon's car as well. Right at about the 1,000-foot mark, he still runs a 482. That will give him lane choice.
But the thing that's got to make those people, Dixon, happy, it was on a good run. They lost the blower belt. They have to figure that out, but they got through the bad spot there, and it was making a nice run.
So let's take a look at the ladder now. As we can show you, the arrow indicates who will have lane choice in round 2. Scelzi over Russell, Kalita over Schumacher, and on the opposite side, KB over Doug Herbert, and Larry Dixon over Paul Romine. So stay with us. When we come back, we are going to be pounding the ground some more. The Floppers coming up next. There's a couple of happy fans and a John Force fan at that.
Well, Larry Dixon earned lane choice.
The closest shave is as easy as 1, 2, 3, Mach 3. Easy loading, easy rinsing with no clogging, and 3 blades that shave closer in 1 easy stroke. Mach 3 from Gillette.
We got a big problem.
Problem?
New Roundup.
New Roundup? What now?
It's twice as strong, faster than ever. It'll shrivel you all the way down to the roots.
So we can't grow back? Oh, I feel faint.
New Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
Listen, I need that freeway story by noon. Not now. Come on, come on.
Yeah. Sure.
You better not be dead again.
What if people treated you
Let's go.
the way you treat your car? Pep Boys treats cars right. Introducing Energizer to our quality line of ProStart automotive batteries.
All right. Who wants to give me a hand?
All you need to know is where to go. Pep Boys.
Used to be there was only one big guy out there delivering pizzas. Then an upstart came along. And with each passing year, you saw more and more Papa John's cars. Perhaps that's because Papa John's uses only quality ingredients. It's made us the fastest growing pizza chain in America. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Get an extra large one-topping Big Papa and 2 liters of Coke for only $10.99. That's just $10.99.
Bantamweight fight. Mark Johnson versus Arturo Valenzuela. Tuesday night fight. 10 p.m. Tuesday on ESPN2.
As you watch Kenny Bernstein signing autographs, Seattle, we're coming your way next week for the Prolonged Northwest Nationals. 2 weeks, it's Sears Point for the Fram Autolite Nationals, and then August 16th through the 19th, back to the upper Midwest of Brainerd, Minnesota for the Colonels NHRA Nationals, and we hope to see you there. Let's take a look now at the funny car ladder. Again, Arrow shows who has lane choice in Bazemore, as we had a total of 9 funny cars break the track record set a year ago by Whit Bazemore. And the new low mark, just incredible with all the heat in that 495 range. There's Tony Pedregon, the number 2 spot, and notice he could face the boss again if they both advance to round number 2. First pair out of the gate is going to be Tommy Johnson and Jim Epler. For Jim Epler, well, his crew chief Roland Leong took Gordy Bonin to the finals here in 1993. Can you help me with the guy who won that race there, buddy?
Oh, yeah, well, we took Roland out in 240 Gordy. That was a great race, and too bad it was only one time to win up here on the mountain, but I remember that day. It was a tough day.
You mean Cruz Pedregon won this race in 93?
You got it. Donald's Oldsmobile. It was a lot of fun.
And there is Tommy Johnson. He'll be over in the right lane. The number 5 qualifier to 496. Jim Epler, the number 12 qualifier to 504. There is Anthony Ace McCullough. He was a runner-up here in 91. Won it here in 1990.
The thing about funny car, these are tightly qualified cars. Anything could happen here. Anybody could win. Cylinder out for Tommy.
It's a smoking affair, and it is the win light for Tommy Johnson Jr. Not very pretty for either race car. 5:49 the winning time, a 6:71 for the loser, Jim Epler. Let's go back in the super slow-mo.
Well, Epler had a cylinder out right there. That car doesn't have about 700 or 800 horsepower that it normally had, and what happens, the car slows down, the clutches and everything trying to lock up, and Epler's just smoking the hides there, but by that time, Tommy had recovered. Tommy also smoked the tires, but there's where a driver could really make a difference there, and Tommy Johnson just outdrove Jim Epler there and got the win.
You can see the window or the windscreen just being depressed by all the force generated as the car goes down the track. There is the blower belt that we have been talking about so frequently. That's Bob Gilbertson, the number 13 qualifier, and a 506 in the 2000 Camaro. Stuart Stevenson car. Scotty Cannon in the Oakley Firebird. Scotty in the number 4 qualifying position at a 496. Of course, he was the runner-up here last year. The only time he's ever been to a final in his funny car career. And as Gilbertson comes through, we'll tell you about RPM.ESPN.com. That's all you have to do on the internet to get the latest in auto racing news. And if you're looking for specifically NHRA, just type in the keyword NHRA. Can't make it any easier. Dave Reef, you got more?
Scotty Cannon completes his burnout. We've been watching a lot of these cars get down the racetrack. It's been tough for them to get going. As Cruz Pedregon has pointed out, a lot of that has to do with the blower speeds and dropping cylinders.
The biggest problem trying to solve that problem is the fact that we're racing in conditions we haven't seen all weekend. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, 118 degrees down here on the starting line. Well, already now, just 30 minutes into qualifications, that number's jumped up to almost 124 degrees. So it's a little bit slippery out here. Conditions that crew chiefs haven't seen yet, so they're just trying to get a finger on it. We'll have to see how it goes the rest of the day.
So you're right, Dave. Literally 32 minutes from when we started this event, and track temperature's already starting to soar.
But if you look up at the cloud cover, you see the big puffy clouds. That'll help the racetrack. That'll kind of keep it from getting very, very hot in here. But the crew chief that realizes, look, we're not going to be able to run mid-fours. The guy that can figure out if we can run 5.0s in these early rounds and not make a mistake, we're going to have a good shot at winning. What a starting line advantage. Look at that. See you later. Wow.
Bob Gilbertson picks up his second round win of the year on a hole shot, a 5.05 to a 5.02. So there's Paul Smith saying, yes, way to go. My driver did a nice job, and they got the car down the track. Let's take a look.
This is about a graphical hole shot, as you'll see. Look at that. Loud pedal opens up way before the Cannon Oakley car. Cannon actually ran a quicker elapsed time, but he's staring at the back end of this FMTV Pontiac going down there. See a cylinder out there, but Scotty Cannon is going to be kicking himself. He cannot make mistakes as a driver if you want to be a funny car champion. And, hey, let's give Bob Gilbertson credit.
And there's Tommy Johnson. Let's go to Bill.
Like in those bad old war movies when the general says, what's it like out there, kid? What's it like out there?
It's a little rough right now. The sun on this racetrack, something we haven't had to deal with all week. And we had cloud cover yesterday during the day qualifying. So get this cold shaving in the next round. Do a lot of pedaling in there and just hoping that old Jim wasn't coming around me. But my grandpa had a birthday this week. We're going to try and get him a win today.
And we said yesterday it would be unpredictable. It's panning out that way, isn't it?
It certainly is, Bill. And as we go to commercial break, you're going to take a look at Scotty Cannon. He gave up 11 hundredths at the starting line. It cost him dearly. We're coming right back.
Yeah, I'm a flagman, third-generation flagman. I do my best work for the Suzuki GSXR line. Each one is special. The GSXR 600 is agile, aerodynamic, so it's light, like a bird. Like a bird. And the 750 wins everything because it's quick. Like a cat. And the all-new GSXR 1000 is just going to dominate racing. And all that power and super lightweight, I'm going to be like... Okay, there, it's my back. The old back.
Spend some vacation time at La Quinta. We'll float you $10 cash when you check out. Look for this coupon in USA Today or at LaQuinta.com. And call La Quinta. You stay, we pay.
People rave about the fun they had. All the good days and friendly faces. And good times all around. And you wonder, did they just take a vacation? Or just get back from dinner? A great night out that feels like a holiday. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
All right, everybody, one more time. Hole shot. Extreme. McTwist. Not extreme. Quarter-mile straightaways. Extreme. Half pipes. Extreme.
The NHRA Pro Stock Pontiac Grand Am, driven by Warren the Professor Johnson. Class is now in session.
Okay, Mr. Sullivan. Extreme or not extreme?
The 2001 Grand Am GT, extreme excitement by Pontiac.
Joe, the Dodgers going to Coors Field, and the Oakland Athletics in Kansas City. Johnny Damon returns to KC.
To face guys like Jermaine Dye, good hitter.
Dodgers Rockies on ESPN. A's Royals on ESPN2. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Nextel, 8 o'clock tonight.
Hey, the 2-minute drill's back, and it's better. Now easier to play and at home with enhanced TV and new celebrities and athletes to ask all the questions. Host is Kenny Mayne, and the tournament progresses Tuesday nights on ESPN at 7 o'clock. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Back here at Vandermeer Speedway, Bruce Pendragon, Bill Stevens, Dave Reef, I'm Marty Reed, and let's go to the far end, Bill.
Bob Gilbertson's a happy guy. You killed him on the starting line, and you're going to the next round. Hey, that's my job. I got to do that. That's one of the things that I got to do. Paul Smith will cuss me out if I don't do my job. So, Stuart Stevenson, FMTV, we're happy to be here for Ram Auto Light. My team, Jimmy Stewart's here. He's got his wife here, Martha Stewart. So we're glad to have him here. And we talked to Paul Smith earlier, and he did his job, didn't he?
He certainly did. Nice little combination on that trip down the track. Chuck Etchel's over in the right-hand lane. Number 14 qualifier. Bruce Sarver, the number 3 qualifier, over in the left lane. Boy, Etchel's had it till the tires lost traction. A 5:13 for Sarver at 289 miles an hour, and Bruce will advance to second round competition. Now, Pro Stock, the factory hot rod's getting ready to come to the line as well, and back in the pits, getting ready. There is Bruce Allen, the number 1 qualifier. Nice job, especially with the way you managed to get that old horsepower down the track there, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. We really did do a nice job. We were up here testing. That helped us. We just made real good calls, and we've been real consistent, not only on our Friday night run, but all week.
Well, the last 2 events, Rear and Morrison engines have had the number 1 qualifying position, so you guys have been able to run both down low and up high or in the altitude.
Yeah, our engine program is really sound. The guys, obviously, at the shop have done a great job, and people running our engines in their cars have done a great job, so we're really happy with that.
Well, we know you've got Alan Johnson coming up first round, so we'll let you get focused, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us, Bruce.
Thanks, Marty.
All right, let's get back to funny car action at hand. That is Tony Pedregon, the number 2 qualifier, over in the left lane at a 495. Jerry Tolliver, the number 15 qualifier, over in the right lane, right there, at a 507.
Okay, this could be an interesting matchup here, Tony Pedregon versus Jerry Tolliver. And the reason why I say that is all weekend long, Jerry Tolliver's car, Dale Armstrong, has had that car running in the 5.0s. And it appeared that they were out of the game, but a 5.0 right now would look pretty good. And if they can if they kept their heads about him and not got caught up in this 4-second deal and try to run a 5.0, they can be trouble for Tony Pedregon.
Well, as you look at Tony backing up and getting the guidance back to the starting line, remember a year ago, Jerry Tolliver at this event came in as number 1 in the points. And as of right now, is still looking for his first round victory of 2001.
There's no doubt they've struggled, Marty, but what I like about it, like I said, they're not trying to rotate the earth and set the world on fire. The way you get back in the game and get back in hunting these 6,000 horsepower cars, you do it in little chunks, and that's what they appear to be doing. But this could all change right now if they go up in smoke in the first round here. It's all for the marbles right here.
John Medlin brings him in. Tony won here back in 98 and 99. And Tony Pedregon does it again, and he runs a 5.00 at 3:03 to a losing 5:23. And for Jerry Tolliver, he is still winless in 2001. Let's go in super slow-mo and take a look at Jerry Tolliver.
They had the right idea, Marty, but they just were lacking some power there. The car ran a 5:22. That's not going to win anything these days, but he didn't smoke the tires. He didn't make a mistake. Now, if Tony Pedregon had bobbled, smoked the tires, this run would all of a sudden would have looked good, but that's just that Tony out-muscled him. You see the cylinder out there, but it's game over for that Pontiac right there. Send him home.
And there is Tony as he's climbed out of the car and taking the helmet off, trying to get some fresh air, what little there is here at over a mile-high altitude. So as he gets ready to talk to Bill Stevens, we go back to the starting line. There is Lee Beard. He is the crew chief on the number 1 qualified car of Whit Bazemore. Now remember, Bazemore drove for Chuck Etchel's here last year when he had the pole and won the event. So now for Lee, they're trying to duplicate it with the same driver, and so far, so good.
Oh, Lee's done a great job. This car here is a threat to win it. I'm surprised it hasn't won a race yet this year. It's been in the hunt a couple of times.
And that includes the finals back at Pomona. There is the Jurassic Park car of Del Worsham.
Tony Pedregon didn't quite get the #1 qualifying spot, but everybody certainly swung around and saw that 5 flat. Oh, we'll give that one to Whitley there. The key is to go around here, and it's awful tough. I'm surprised it ran that quick. It ran a 5 flat, scrubbed off a lot of ET down track, getting loose, and I was just praying that that blower belt stayed in there. But really, this thin air up here puts a lot of strain on the motors, and thank God we got that Syntec in there and we got that round win. Yeah, get to be the blower belt nationals.
Marty, this is a 5-star matchup here. I look at this as the real key matchup in the first round. And the reason why I say that, Bazemore and Del Worsham, they're both 2nd and 4th in the points. Bazemore's #1 qualifier, Worsham's #16. But this car right here, I believe they have the right combination to beat a Bazemore. Del Worsham's killer on the reaction times, although Bazemore's been picking that up in that area too. But to me, this is anybody's race, despite what looks on paper as a walkover for Bazemore.
Well, and these guys have met a total of 23 times. Dell has won 12 of them. Witt has won 11. That's how close the battle is between these two.
But there's no doubt about it that this car is overdue for a win. We thought he might have rolled through the lights there, but this is going to be a very interesting round.
Worsham up in smoke at a 5:01 at 2:99. That's the e-ticket ride in round 1, Dave Reed.
And that was a big round. You got the big win.
Yeah, that was a very big round for the Matco Tools car. You know, we got a lot of Gates people up here in Denver, which is another one of our great supporters. But, you know, hats off to the Matco team. They've just done an excellent job of setting this car up here in this high altitude.
Bazemore's climbing the ladder in the points now as Worsham is on the express to the basement.
And last year, Bazemore beat Dell in the semifinals here. He does it in round #1. So as he climbs out, we'll go to commercial break. There's Jerry Tolliver congratulating Tony Pedregon. We're back right after this.
Senses ignited. Are you getting enough? Of course you're not. So you're gonna go to Six Flags Great America. 5 senses, 6 flags. You're gonna feel the blast on intense rides like the new Vertical Velocity. Then and only then are you truly getting enough. Six Flags!
Visit SixFlags.com for more information on rides, shows, and attractions.
When I was a little boy, my mom taught me that cooking was a way to express love for people. So when I do the Essence of Emerald, those techniques and secrets that I've learned over the years, that's just my way of sharing passion for food.
Essence of Emerald on Food Network.
Brought to you by Jewel Food Stores. Fresh to your family from Jewel.
This Tuesday on ESPN Classic, witness boxing history. 2 legends. 1 legendary fight. The 1987 middleweight championship. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvelous Marvin Hagler. 9 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific, Tuesday, only on ESPN Classic. To get ESPN Classic, call 1-800-CLASSIC today.
Back here at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals, that's Ron Capps in the right lane, Frank Pedregon in the left lane. As funny car action first round continues, Bill Stevens at the far end with Whit Bazemore.
Tony Pedregon dedicated his 5 flat to you. That's a pretty good return shot, a 5:01.
Yeah, I don't know what he's dedicating anything for, but, you know, suit himself. Good for us. You know, I tell you what, it's tough up here on the hill. It's really tough. Real nervous. First round's tough. I mean, we had to run the #2 guy in the points, and that just didn't seem fair to me. But, hey, this Matco Tools team, they did a great job. And Lee, you know, car's a handful down there. It's trying to move around.
Del Worsham is #2, but a few more of those, and he won't be.
Well, Bruce Sarver is already moved into second place in the points because he was only 15 points out of this round, and Sarver's already advanced. So the shuffle for second place on down is going to continue, and here comes a couple of more guys that can play a role.
Yeah, this is a very big matchup. Ron Cap, Frankie Pedregon.
Ron Capps, the Skoll Green Camaro, and a 494 low ET of the round at 3:08 debrief.
How about low ET of the weekend for Ed the Ace McCall? Obviously, you made some changes based on what that blue car did a little bit ago.
Yeah, we did. That's sort of the luxury of having two cars. We saw what Tommy did, and we made some adjustments, and it worked. So we were okay there.
That's the man who's now tuned the quickest car on the mountain.
That is a new track record at 4.949 seconds. So what a performance by Ron Capps. And I think he's got an idea that they did okay.
Marty, what's awesome about that car was traveling over 254 miles an hour at half track. What an awesome, awesome run. Look, Ron's all excited about it. I would be too.
So as he gets the helmet off, we go back to the starting line. That is Johnny Gray and the Nitro Fish Firebird as he comes through the water and does his burnout over in the right-hand lane. The number 10 qualifier. That paint job has really gotten better as the year has gone on. There's John Force, the 10-time Winston champion. Let's go to Bill. He's with a very happy Ron Capps.
Ron Capps just blew everybody out of the water. 494. Wow.
Yeah, and everybody was up there wondering, what in the heck the Skoll guys doing in the right lane? I'm sure they were, but Kato Kahara, Ace, Mike Green, those guys, I think they're the best at reading tracks, and it's obvious. Heck, I was on Moto 1 racing the online NHRA game with a home computer on Wednesday with a bunch of fans, and we raced this race, and so, hey, I won that and got a lot of experience, so I've already felt like I've won up here.
From virtual reality to real reality.
Well, at least I know not to take him on either track right now. Now, as John backs up, the Western swing usually can make or break your season. Look at John. We showed you what happened to KB last year, but look at Force. I mean, 2 victories out of 3 stops on the Western Tour.
Yeah, Force just... I'm looking at this here as I'm looking at this race here. Marty, I'm sorry. I'm so caught up into this race right now. I'm not even looking at stats. I apologize. I'm thinking about what Force has to do to try to win this round. Johnny Gray, to me, has a chance to run a 499 that last run. If we saw it earlier, if he can run another 499 and have a good reaction time, he could send Force home. Force has gotten away with a couple early, and maybe this could be Nitro Fish's day.
Well, Johnny Gray is 0 for 3 against John Force. He's 0 for 4, and John Force, who has 3 victories here at Denver, takes his first step at a 496 at 3:05. Let's go to Super Slow-Mo and show you John Force's run.
Well, for all the viewers at home that wonder why Force wins a lot, all you have to do is look at this. There's nothing I can circle other than the whole car because there's nothing to circle. Look at that left front bouncing. Picture perfect run. That's how to do it. Johnny Gray, I don't know what. They were over there too busy smoking the tires and didn't even give Force a race, and that's why Force, like I said, is just champion that he is.
And there's Wayne Dupuis saying, oh, no, just a little too much as he
woulda,
smokes
coulda,
the tires.
shoulda.
There's John Force taking the helmet off. Bill?
Well, describe that one to us, Mr. Force.
Man, I rolled in, and you wouldn't even believe it. My second light come on, which is really brain-frying for the crew chief, and I locked her up, and it blinked twice, and it went out. And I thought, where in the heck are we now? And then I shoved both valves down, and I went on in, because that gets really confusion. I want to say happy birthday to Fred Wagonall. And, man, I gotta have more of that oxygen. That stuff really works for this little guy.
He is sucking the air out of the place.
He had a cold. He was really sick on Friday, and he says, I'm feeling a lot better today.
Marty, I saw what Force was talking about. He was blinking that light. But for Force to regain his composure after that, it's pretty spectacular. He was trying to explain what's going on there, but it's just amazing that you can refocus and had a 5:19 reaction time, which is very good.
Yeah, I think if we could get him to slow down, we might have been able to understand that whole process. Next up, Dean Scusa and Gary Dencham. There's Gary over in the left lane. He's the number 8 qualifier, 4.980. Now, what's significant about that? Well, take a look at the qualifying time for Dean Scusa. He's in the number 9 spot at a 4.980. The only thing that separated him was mile an hour. Dencham's run was at 3:12. Scusa was at 3:02. That's why Gary's in the number 8 spot. Scusa's in the number 9. And this is about as close as you can ever get it.
It really is. And if both cars stay hooked up, it could boil down to the drivers. And boy, both drivers, I can't think of any driver that could use a win more than Gary Dencham or Dean Scusa. So this could go either way. Ford and Mopar going at it here at the as we call it, on the mountain.
Well, they've met 17 times, and Scusa has won 9 of those. Dencham has won 8. And the left lane goes up in smoke this time in a 5.004 for Dean Scusa at 295. Takes out Gary Dencham. And Dencham's 312 mile an hour in qualifying. Good enough for a track record, but could not find the traction to get down the track this time. Here's the way round 2 will shape up. The arrow indicates who has the lane choice. Scusa over Bazemore. And then on the other side, it'll be Force hooking up with teammate Tony Pedregon. Let's go on board with Dean Scusa.
It's a wire-to job for Scusa. He had the advantage at the start and does a pretty good job of keeping it down in the center. Great run.
And as we go to commercial break, there is Darrell Alderman and Larry Morgan signing autographs for the fans here at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals.
Used to be there was only one big guy out there delivering pizzas. Then an upstart came along. And with each passing year, you saw more and more Papa John's cars. Perhaps that's because Papa John's uses only quality ingredients. It's made us the fastest growing pizza chain in America. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Get an extra large one-topping Big Papa and 2 liters of Coke for only $10.99. That's just $10.99.
Hi, I want the Goodyears you have on sale.
Okay.
And I want free mounting.
Sure.
And free rotation anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And I want the die-hard battery, too. For free.
No problem.
Come on. At Sears Auto Center, all Goodyear tires are on sale. And now buy 4 Goodyear tires and get a free die-hard battery. Sears, America's #1 tire retailer.
Is this free?
This is a toe, this is a foot. That's the difference between Lamisil AT spray pump and Lotrimin AF. Lotrimin AF products are indicated to treat athlete's foot on the whole foot. This is only indicated to treat between the toes, so kill athlete's foot on the whole foot with Lotrimin AF.
Hey, there's big news at 7-Eleven. It's the new Big Bite Combo. Delicious Big Bite hot dog made by Oscar Mayer. With free chili and cheese. Whatever you want. Ice cold gulp. And a big grab of chips. All for just $1.99. It's a bigger, better summer. All right, Max, here we go. And come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, Max. Come on, jump. All right, all right.
Great outdoor games presented by Jeep Liberty begin Thursday at 8 on ESPN.
Two historic events can happen here in Denver. In Pro Stock Bike, Angel Savoy, after an emotional win at Pomona, can surpass a legend for most career wins by a woman. And in Pro Stock Cars, Warren Johnson tied Bob Clinton's record at St. Louis, faltered at Pomona, and is looking for the magic number 86 this weekend. Yeah, there's a team that wants to take care of that number 86 and deny it. That's Darrell Alderman, one of the brand new Neons, along with his teammate Mark Osborne and Larry Morgan. We had a chance to sit down with Darrell. It's been a long, hard year. He's failed to qualify 4 times. He's been waiting for this new car.
It certainly looks like it. This little car is it's slick. It's good in the wind tunnel. It's showing good numbers towards the back half and speed. You know, we only have a few runs on it, and we really have a lot of high expectations out of this car.
It's a changeover here, and change is something that throughout your career you've had to deal with tremendous amounts. You've gone from Dale Ike and Michael Sullivan out of David Nickens, from the wedge motor to the Hemi motor, teammates even. I mean, you've been all over the map with this team. Has that been hard to deal with?
Well, you know, I think in this sport, everyone has their ups and downs, and there certainly has been a lot of change since I've been with Mopar. I've been extremely lucky that I'm still here. I've worked with an awful lot of real good people, good teams, and, you know, I have to consider myself extremely lucky.
What do you still want to accomplish in your career?
Well, I'd certainly like to win some more races, and you know, and if I'm fortunate enough to race another year or two, you know, a championship wouldn't be out of the question. You know,
Darrell, when you look back on your career, what's going to stick out? Is it the '94 championship?
You know, all of them was good, but I'd have to say the '94 championship after being off a couple years and going down to the last race, you know, and racing my teammate Scott for that championship. You know, it really stands out.
You think a championship's in the cards with the Neon maybe next year?
I certainly do. You know, I've got a bad start this year, but you know, this time last year is where we started charging, and hopefully that's what'll happen again this year. But I'd say next year, you know, a championship wouldn't be out of the question at all.
Darrell, most people, of course, know you for being, you know, one of the Dodge boys. You guys have been out here for a number of years, but when you get away from this racetrack and enjoy the simpler things in life, what are you doing?
Well, I work with my father and my son in a construction business back in Kentucky, and you know, I go back after the race, and we work in eastern Kentucky there, and a lot of those folks just consider me as Darrell Alderman, the construction worker.
And as we take a look at the ladder, you'll see that Darrell Alderman's going to be up against his old nemesis, Jag Coughlin. And the arrow indicates, of course, who has the lane choice here in round number 1 at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals. Last victory for Darrell Alderman back in Englishtown of '97. The last win for a Dodge Hemi, 1979 here at Denver. Now, first pair up, Tom Martino. He's over in the right-hand lane. Ron Krischer in the left-hand lane, and Martino is 4-0 over Krischer lifetime. Between the number 8 and 9 qualifiers goes to the number 8 qualifier of Ron Krischer, 7:30 at 1:87. Let's get a period on funny car. Dean Scusa's with Bill Stevens.
Dean Scusa, not nervous, were you? Oh, man, this is the worst. I mean, this is more important than Indy for us. It really is. I mean, this is the Mopar race. All the brass is here, and in most cases, it's their only opportunity to really see their racing program in action. So, a bit of pressure, you're right. I think he's handling it well.
Yeah, got the advertisement in too. All right, we did a good job, Dean. Back at the starting line, we've got the other of the Dodge camp, Mark Osborne. He qualified in the number 10 spot. He'll be over in the right lane. 7:31 was the elapsed time. And he's up against Mike Edwards, the number 7 qualifier in the Young Life Cavalier, and a 7:29. Let's get more on Osborne, Dave Reef.
I think one of the interesting things about the new Neons, Marty, is if you go to the driver entry information about the car, it will say that this Neon is a 1998 RT. Kind of curious to me. Well, I kind of started asking around, and the reason for that is because it was 1998. The Dodge stopped making a 2-door Neon coupe, and according to NHRA rules now, things are going to change in about a year and a half again, as the Neon will have to be replaced by the Dodge Stratus. So the work will continue.
And this car was the brain trust of the entire factory. I mean, normally they build the car, then go to the factory and find out what went wrong, but the Daimler Chrysler people were involved in the entire development process on this car, and so far so good. For Mike Edwards, well, he is 7-1 lifetime over Osborne, and for Mark, he went to the finals here in 1994, and the last time these two guys met was back in St. Louis, and Mike Edwards won that matchup.
This particular category, Marty, pro stock, is in every category in drag racing. It's important to have a good reaction time, but because these cars in pro stock are qualified so close, there's not a category that's more important for the driver to get that jump over his opponent. Edwards had a 4:14 reaction time. That's trouble.
And the first Dodge is out of here, a 7:32 at 188 to a losing 7:34, but with the reaction time, a full car length, and the margin of victory, 6/100ths of a second. Let's go on board with Mark Osborne.
Look at the rev limiter right there. Mark Osborne sees that light, and he shifts right down here when he sees that red, and that shift points. You'll see Edwards right out the corner, maybe not quite, but he was staring at a whole lot of that green Krischer car, or excuse me, Edwards car.
Next pair up, Troy Coughlin and V. Gaines. And this is a home game for V over in that left-hand lane, as he is from Lakewood, Colorado. For Troy Coughlin, we're on board, and let's get more from Bill.
You know, Marty, it's been a long time since Troy Coughlin out-qualified his brother Jag. Remember last year here at this race, these guys were non-factors. However, their engine builder, Richard Maskin, definitely the king of the mountain up here. When he was with Jimmy Yates in 96 and 97, they won this race up here. He moved over to Team Jegs, and they won the race a couple of times up here. And you got to believe that these guys are expecting big things in eliminations because, quite frankly, they were less than lukewarm in qualifying.
Well, we're going to be listening in on the radio, too, because right after Troy runs, Jag, his brother, will be up against Darrell Alderman. For V. Gaines, well, this is his best qualifying position of the year, the number 6 spot at a 7:29. Both cars taking a long time.
About 3 feet there.
Yeah, they still 3 feet just to get into the pre-stage.
Yeah, what some drivers do is they use this time to really focus and just kind of get their energy focused on what they're going to do to really have a clear mind.
For Gaines.
35 with a 4, 188.57. He got you, Bubba.
So you heard the team talk about he got you by 1/100th of a second. 7:34 at 188 for V. Gaines.
Well, this was a very close race. 100th down at the finish line, 7:34 to 7:35. You're going to see V. Gaines, car on the right side of your screen, actually trailed Coughlin out of the starting blocks there, but it wasn't quite enough of an advantage for Troy Coughlin to overcome the quicker car by V. Gaines. But this is the close racing we're talking about in pro stock, just inches at the finish line.
And let's take a look at the incrementals, and you can see that at the 60-foot mark, Gaines was ahead, also at the 660-foot mark, and as well at the finish line. But look how close it was.
Call it a game of inches. That's why the drivers really need to focus when they go up to that line, because there's no second chance in drag racing. Once you pop that clutch, if you're trailing, man, it's hard to overcome the other guy in a quarter mile.
All right, let's talk about this matchup, because this is classic. Darrell Alderman in the brand new Neon. We just talked to him. He knows, and you know, what kind of pressure they're under. Add the fact that the guy in the lane closest to you, Jake Coughlin, the defending Winston champion, owns Darrell Alderman. He has never won against Jag. Jag has beaten 11 straight times.
Well, that factored into the whole equation. Is what makes this such an interesting matchup. The fact that Alderman has never beat Coughlin. But, you know, I got to favor Alderman by a little bit here. He's outperformed him all weekend. He cannot give up too much starting line advantage. But Alderman's, you know, he's one of those guys tricky on the light, too. He's known for his reaction time. He's got to leave at least with Coughlin to have a chance to put Coughlin away. Coughlin's trying to chase those championship points right now, too, so he cannot afford to lose.
Alderman has him by 4/100ths in qualifying.
Time could be trouble for Jag.
The hex is broken.
41.
And no comment from Jag. So for the first time in 12 races, it was Darrell Alderman, and the monkey is off his back, and we ride along with Jag. A 440 light. For Jag, that's snoozing.
Boy, Alderman said, see you later.
And then we'll go on board with Darrell, and a 416 light. Doesn't get much better than that.
Okay, today we're testing reflexes. Reaction time meets extreme G-forces. Ready, Mr. Sullivan? Dude!
The NHRA Pro Stock Pontiac Grand Am, driven by Warren the Professor Johnson. Class is now in session.
Red light. Let's try that again. Dude!
The 2001 Grand Am GT, extreme excitement by Pontiac.
Roundup. It will be your greatest enemy when you take over the weed family.
Me? Leave the family?
New Roundup is stronger, faster. It kills to the root.
So when I take over, we'll all be dead?
New Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem. know how to spot a die-hard battery owner? Look for their jumper cables. Die-hard. 30 years of starting power. How much do you trust your battery?
Hey, this is Carrot Top reminding you, if you're going to make a collect call, pick up the phone and dial 1-800-CALLATT. 1-800-CALLATT.
Nice job, Carrot Stick. Save big bucks on every call. Dial 1-800-CALLATT for collect calls.
Can I have your number?
People do some strange things to cars. But Carfax can give you the real history of any used car, and that could save you thousands. Go to Carfax.com or your dealer for a Carfax report. Don't buy a used car without Carfax.
2-minute drill is back.
Your 2-minute drill begins now.
1984, which quarterback passed for an NFL record 5,084 yards?
Dan Marino.
Have you got the answer? 2-minute drill, hosted by Kenny Mayne, Tuesday at 7 and 7:30 on ESPN.
With Chris Petrigon, Bill Stevens, Dave Reef, I'm Marty Reed. We're at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals, and you're back in the pits as, boy, they're working to get Bob Gilbert's car ready for second round action. Let's go to the far end, catch up with Bill Stevens.
Darrell Alderman had the quickest car in the last qualifying session yesterday with a 729. Same conditions, just for the French pastry side of it. A 416 light, you took out the Winston champ.
I tell you, when you beat Jaggy, you've done something. He's one of the best out there, and this is my first time to turn the wind light on with him, and I tell you, every time I run him, I dread him.
And he did it with a brand new car.
The hex is over. Now coming out, you see George Marnell over in the right lane, the number 12 qualifier at a 7:31. He's got a tough task. Kurt Johnson has been very stout all weekend long. He's in the number 5 spot, and he has run back-to-back 7:28s. With a 7:32 at 188 miles an hour is going to advance to the second round of Pro Stock competition. Now, as he makes his way down the track, we go back in the pits. Dave Reef, you got a surprise for us?
Well, Marty, anytime you see the Delta Worldwide timetable out, opened up to the land of Gwin down in Florida, you know things have not gone well for Mike Dunn. Paul Romine knocked this team out. And I got to ask you, Ken, 3 races ago, you brought out some new metal. Thought it would be a little more tunable. Is it the machine or is there other gremlins in this camp right now?
Well, the car, this is the same old car we ran last year. It run 53, 52, run all those low 50s sure. As soon as we brought it out. And the car itself is still, a easier to work with car. It's just that we keep having all these little problems, just like we ran into a new problem today. And the driver did an excellent job. He should have got all messed up because the engine just kept revving up, but he kept his cool and he knew there was a problem. And the clutch just kept getting hotter and hotter. And it had too much clutch,
They'll keep this pipe, move on to Seattle, man.
And that'll be next week, and as we say, the battle continues. Right now, it's continuing for the professor, Warren Johnson, number 3 qualifier at a 7:28. He's over in the left lane against Mark Powick. And Mark, the number 14 qualifier at a 7:33. And these two have met a total of 42 times. WJ has won 33 of them.
WJ's in his Winston points hunt, and you have to look at this part of the season and you have to count the points. I know drivers say they're not counting them, but believe me, these guys are thinking about points, and Warren Johnson has to keep on winning if he wants a chance. He looks good here. He's got a good lead on Powick.
Yes, and Warren Johnson, the points leader, with a 7:31 at 189, and he's already seen one of his nemesis going out in first round, and that was Jeg Coughlin. Bill?
Based on what you've accomplished on the mountain, Jeggy, I can't remember the last time I said both Coughlin's out in the first round in Denver.
Yeah, it was definitely a struggle for us this weekend. Troy's car was coming around. We'd applied some new technology to his car this weekend. And, nobody worked harder. We just didn't have the knowledge to get this engine to accelerate. And unfortunately, it showed again here in the first round. Darrell and that group's obviously done a hell of a job this weekend. And our hats off to them and best wishes.
And, Marty, these guys have not had good luck on the Western Swing overall, and there are 2 more races to go.
Well, so far, he's going to stay in the number 3 point position because Mark Powick is in that number 4 slot, and he just got punched out for it by WJ.
but Warren just added 20 more to his leading total. Now, you're looking at Brad Jeter. He's over in the right lane, the number 15 qualifier. He's up against Jim Yates, the number 2 qualifier. Dave Reef.
And Marty, Bill just mentioned a little bit ago not having good luck. That is something that Brad Jeter has had all season long. Hardly any luck at all. Steve Schmidt owns his car out of Indianapolis. They're one of the privateers that come out here and try to compete each and every week. And as I mentioned, it's not been going well. So badly has it been going that Steve has elected to go ahead and take the car back to Indianapolis, park the car until Brainerd. So unless Brad Jeter does something special here, he knows he needs to win the race if he wants a chance to go to Seattle. He's got his game face on.
Well, and Brad has had some success against Jim Yates. They've met twice, and Jeter's won both of them. But for Jim Yates, he's also won this event in 96 and 97, so he's got some experience here on the mountain.
The great equalizer on these two cars, you look at Yates, he's out-qualified Jeter by a little bit, but it's the guy sitting in the seat, the guy, the trigger man, as we call him, the guy that pushes the loud pedal down here, and Jeter's got a reputation of leaving on Yates here, so Yates has got his hands full here if he wants to try to move on the next round.
For Jim Yates at a 7:34, 188 miles an hour to a losing 7:38. Bill Stevens is with the man looking for number 86.
Yeah, Warren's looking for his third win up here on the mountain, off to a good start.
Well, one thing you can do is take this thing round by round because conditions will change out here. None of us are really acclimated to racing at this elevation, so if you've got a little bit of insight of what to do, you might have an advantage.
Warren just told me that sometimes the up here is over 12,000 feet.
And to give you an idea, the highest summit in the area is Pikes Peak, 14,110 feet.
Marty, watch Jeter's car on the left side. He's got a good lead on Yates, and he bobbles a little bit there. It happened earlier, maybe right there. Well, he wiggled a little bit. He had a 4:16 reaction time. He did his part as a driver, but just at the finish line, just didn't quite have the mustard to deal with the split fire car.
Well, in fact, the margin of victory on the CompuLink computer system came up at 0.000.
It's a good thing it was electronic down there. We'd have missed it if there was a flag man or that's why we have to have precise instruments, and NHRA has that with the clocks. And people ask, hey, well, how can you determine who wins? That eye at the finish line determines that.
You're looking at Alan Johnson. He's the number 16 qualifier. Got a tall order. He's got to punch out Bruce Allen, who took his 13th pole of his career, 3rd for the season. The last time these two met was Chicago a year ago, and Allen won that matchup.
All right, we talked about qualifying number 1. Hey, that's all fine and dandy, but unless a guy can get a win, it doesn't mean a thing. And it's nice to be to come in with as the favorite. But Bruce Allen is thinking about one thing right now: is getting to the finish line before Alan Johnson.
Light for Allen. And in an upset, Alan Johnson, hole shots 7:43 to a quicker but losing 7:38 and go back to the starting line, a 4:12 to a 4:77 light. Unreal. So your number 1 qualifier is out of here. Take a look. The arrow indicates who has lane choice. It'll be Krischer over Johnson, KJ over Darrell Alderman, and then Mike Edwards over Jim Yates, and the professor over B. Gaines. Stay with us. We've got a lot more coming your way from the 22nd running of the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals. That's Tony Schumacher's camp getting ready for round 2. And there is Team Winston. Stay with us.
And yours. That's the Mopar difference.
When Tony brought me home to meet his mother, she was a little surprised. She wanted a good Italian wife for him. She got someone who teaches him Yiddish. We have our differences, it's true, but we are bonding. She gave me her grandmother's good tablecloth. It survived 2 generations. Now it's up to me.
Tide Deep Clean formula combines an amazing detergent with the power of a pre-treater. It's all you need for the best stain fighting ever.
Married life is great. All three of us are having a blast.
Get ready. Here comes Cool Blue Mach 3. 3 blades for the closest shave in fewer strokes with less irritation. Now with a cool new look. New Cool Blue Mach 3 from Gillette.
These days, everything's being called fresh. Fresh brewed coffee. Fresh picked corn. You picked this? How about you, Farmer Brown? You want fresh made? Try the new Subway Selects.
Right, Jim. Subway has 4 new Subway Selects, like the tasty Southwest chicken.
Subway, eat fresh.
Speed World event, final eliminations for the Mile High Nationals is being brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. By the all-new 2-Minute Drill. Play along in the Ultimate Sports Quiz Show, Tuesdays on ESPN. And by Pep Boys. All you need to know is where to go. Pep Boys. And as we look back towards the east, that is downtown Denver, Colorado, here at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals. In between rounds, look at the crowd back in the pits. Let's put a period on the first round of Pro Stock. Bill Stevens is with Alan Johnson and Bruce Allen.
You know, you don't get enough credit for your reaction times. Several times over the past couple of years, you've killed some guys and you just took out the #1 qualifier.
Well, when your performance a little down, driver's really got to do his job. You know, against Bruce, #1 qualifier, I knew I really had to kill the tree, so I was focused.
I guess, and he did it with one of those used Avenger RTs. And Bruce Allen, the other side of the coin, for the 3rd time this year, you go in #1, but can't seal the deal. I know you're disappointed.
Well, just a bad job of driving. You know, you got to take advantage of those opportunities, and we've had a great car and just haven't done it driving, and it's not nothing but, you know, just not lack of concentration, just not doing a good job. And these guys are all good out here. You can't take, I mean, everybody's out there, everybody can drive good, so if they do and you don't, you go home.
And in all fairness, he is still considered one of the best levers in Pro Stock.
And it won't be a happy birthday on Thursday when he turns 51. Now, an uneventful round of Pro Stock bike, really, to be honest, except for Mike Berry. Had his best qualifying position, but as you can see, hard left off the line, crossed the center line. He is out of here. Take a look at the ladder. You can see Antron Brown, Craig Treble advanced, and Greg Underdahl, one of 4 to advance on red lights. Chris Bostic also, and then Matt Hines, Reggie Showers advanced on a red light. So did Angel Savoy and GT Toilet. Savoy set a new track record at 7.631 seconds. When we come back, Top Fuel round #2. Let's go on board with Tony Schumacher from round #1. Stay with us.
I've always loved working on computers.
AT&T Broadband keeps you connected with programming, offers, and more. Look what we're bringing you this month.
New from the network that brought you cable's 2 top-rated primetime original dramas, Strong Medicine and Any Day Now. Lifetime presents The Division. San Francisco detectives, each struggling with commitments to their job, to their family, to each other. The Division, only on Lifetime. 5 women, 1 code, justice.
AT&T Broadband. We're keeping you connected.
Has your roof taken a beating from summer storms? Menards has the best selection and lowest prices on IKO shingles. Choose from traditional 20, 25, or 30-year 3-tab shingles, or give your home the rustic look of natural wood shakes with 25-year or 40-year Biltmore laminated shingles in a wide selection of colors, all on sale. Menards is tops at saving you money.
Save big money at Menards.
Along with Cruz Pedregon, Bill Stevens, Dave Reef, I'm Marty Reed. Welcome back to the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals here at Denver, Colorado at Vandermeer Speedway. You're on board with the Army of One. That's Tony Schumacher over in the right-hand lane. And we've got another on board, and that is with Doug Coletta. And Coletta has the lane choice courtesy of a 485 in round number 1 to Schumacher's 534. There is the Mac Tools Top Fuel dragster for Doug. He's 11 up, 7 down in his career over Tony Schumacher. His uncle, Connie, won this race back in 1984 and 85. And the last time these two met, what was the finals in Bristol. And it was Doug Coletta picking up his victory there.
Yeah, Doug Coletta lost the blower belt right at the finish line, only ran a 485, but he had the incremental numbers to run about a 478 or 79. So he's the car to beat here, but like we've been talking about, we've been seeing you cannot smoke the tires, and the other thing is you got to keep that rubber band on that supercharger.
And it's going away, a 482 at 292 for Doug Coletta, and a losing 533 for Tony Schumacher. Now let's go on board with Doug Coletta.
Marty, you're going to see Doug Coletta's going to get loose here. He's going to win the race. Right there is Dan Olson talking to Tony Schumacher, but he did lose a blower belt on that run, but it happened after the finish line.
And joining us here in the booth now is Mark Miramonte, our rock scientist. Not rocket science, but rock science. This is the U.S. Geological Survey. If you were with us yesterday, he and his crew have been doing a wonderful job, and welcome, Mark. Appreciate all the work. Now, yesterday we determined that we had a 2.0 on the Richter scale right here at the track. What would it take to get damage going? I mean, buildings falling, that kind of stuff.
Well, in general, magnitude 2.0 is not normally felt by too many people. And if there was a magnitude 2.0, for somebody to feel it, it would have to be almost underneath their home. But in order for a general public to begin to feel an event, it would probably have to be on the order of a 3.5 to a 4 magnitude 4 event. And a magnitude 4 event, that's about 100 times larger than a magnitude 2 event.
Give me an idea. What was the earthquake a couple months ago in Seattle?
In Seattle, it was 5.3 or 5.7.
So, but right here at a 2.0, was that more than you expected?
Yes, the magnitude 2.0 was much more than I expected. Initially I was wondering if there'd be any energy coupled to the ground at all. So I was thinking about it would be probably less than magnitude 1.0. That was my initial thought. So, but yesterday I was a little surprised to see it maybe closer to magnitude 2.
Well, I know for all the fans, we've really enjoyed learning this because we always talk about how we shake the ground, and you guys have helped us prove it. So thanks, Mark. We'll catch up with you in a little bit. We're getting ready to go racing again here. Doug Herbert over in the right lane. Kenny Bernstein over in the left lane. KB had the lane choice courtesy of a 481 in round number 1. Herbert ran a 502. Bernstein smoked the tires, and Doug Herbert takes another step towards back-to-back victories of 499. Let's take a look at super slow-mo. So an upset here in round number 2.
Watch Bernstein's car shake the tires loose. That's what happened. Watch the tires. They're going to shake right about there and just went into smoke. Tough break for the King.
Stay with us. We're coming right back.
I'm coming for you! The Suzuki King Quad is the only all-terrain vehicle that has a 3-speed sub-transmission and locking front differential that allows you to transfer power equally to all 4 wheels to get you where you need to go. I'm coming!
I almost lost you there.
The King Quad from Suzuki.
Hey, man. Where have you been?
The Outback.
In the Outback, huh? Well, you missed a great game.
No, I saw it there.
In the Outback.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good reception?
It's great. They're very friendly, too.
You see any wildlife?
Well, the big blooming onions are pretty wild.
And the food?
We're talking about the food.
I
great night out that feels like a holiday. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Well, hey, Miss Palmer, how can I help you?
Hi, Bill. Time to rotate those tires. Cooper Tires. Drive on.
Fred Ho, Oscar de la Hoya, Tiger Woods. It's 3Play at ESPN.com. You log on, you register, and every day you get 3 new athletes. Then whoever gets the best stats wins some serious scotto. Ken Griffey Jr., Alonso Jr., a filly in the 9th named Jr. 3Play at ESPN.com. It's free, it's sports. Give me the briefcase. It's money.
Presented by Gatorade.
Hey, the ESPN Great Outdoor Games feature more than 300 of the world's best competitors in outdoor sports, vying for nearly $300,000 in prize money. And you can see it all on ESPN and ESPN2 starting Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time and on through July 29th. Through then, you can get more on ESPN.com. Let's go to the far end, Bill Stevens.
Helmut Doug Kalita came into this race third in points. We're seeing some big dogs going out, Doug, including Kenny Bernstein just then. It's nice to be alive, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. I tell you, up on the mountain here, it's tough, but, you know, Connie and the whole Mac Tools team, you know, they're doing a good job with the car, getting it down the track. I think that's going to be important today.
And they lost their blower belt at the end of that pass.
And still managed to run a 482. Now we're looking at Larry Dixon. He's over in the left lane. And over in the right lane is Paul Romine. Now remember back in St. Louis what happened to Paul? Well, if in case you weren't with us, keep an eye on the left lane, driver's left. Car erupts into flames and just could not get out of that cockpit area. And Paul was lucky to come away with burned hands only. He had second-degree burns on his hands. He's still wearing the bandages. And right now, he took out Mike Dunn in round number 1. His boss and car owner, Doug Herbert, has already eliminated Kenny Bernstein. Can they go 2 for 2 in round 2?
There's another fire.
Romine on fire again. Dixon runs a 486. This one not nearly as vicious as St. Louis. And a 486 for 297 is going to move Larry Dixon into round number 3. And flames are still flickering out the back of the cars. There's a lot of damage to the CarQuest Top Fuel dragster.
Marty, if I was driving that car, I'd have a long talk with my crew chiefs and say, hey, guys, we're out here for number 1. We're trying to win. I'm sure they're trying hard, but this is absolutely not acceptable as a driver because we're talking about the safety of a driver. But they just keep doing it. I've seen it all year. I'm sure Doug Herbert, as an owner, has to be concerned paying the bills for this thing.
And the fire is out. As you see, the safety safari quickly onto the scene. And you hear him asking if Paul is okay, and he gives them the affirmative. You can see the flame retardant gloves. In fact, Paul was fined by NHRA for having the wrong gloves on. And according to reports, he has appealed that fine. And so he continues in the racing process. But right now, it looks like there's more damage to the back half of the car. And as we wait for Paul to get the helmet off, and we'll talk to him and also to Larry Dixon. Let's take a look at our NHRA at ESPN.com question. Cruz, Ivy from Redford, Michigan wants to know, is the firing order of a Top Fuel car set up so that one cylinder from each bank fires alternately?
What they do, Ivy, is they cross. Number 1 would be on the left side. That's the right side of your motor. 1 is on the left side. Then it crosses over the motor to the right side. This would be number 2 cylinder. Back over to number 3 to the other side. Back over. This would be, listen to the right side of the motor. That's cylinder number 2, 4, 6, and 8. So they just cross after another, and that's the sequence. Just look, imagine yourself looking down at the engine, and number 1, getting a lot of fuel out of the number 2 cylinder there, but just look over the engine and look, count them. 1 cylinder over, 2, 3, 4, back to 8, your right rear pipe.
Let's go to Bill with Larry Dixon.
We're feeling the stress out here. I can imagine what it's like for you.
Nah, you know, I mean, seeing that red car go out in front of you, I mean, it kind of lightens the load a little bit, you know, but middle light car, we went a couple rounds. We need to go a couple more. We'll see what happens.
Well, Larry Dixon has picked up 20 points on Kenny Bernstein, so unofficially, the lead would be down to about 42 points. KB over Larry Dixon, but Dixon's still alive. So is that man right there, Darrell Russell. He is going to go up in that right-hand lane. Over on the left side, it will be Gary Scelzi in the Team Winston. Top fueler, the #1 qualifier. Scelzi took care of Bobby Lagana in the first round. Russell punched out Rhonda Hartman-Smith.
Marty, we're talking heat up here on the mountain. You know, you got to remember the track temperatures are already at 140 degrees, but because we're closer to the sun, the ultraviolet rays are a lot stronger up here, so that's why we're seeing this track start to come undone a little bit here, so these teams have to adjust.
The tires, but Scelzi manages to run a 495 at 288 miles an hour to a losing 526.
He will lose.
So Gary Scelzi advances, and he will go up against Doug Coletta. Coletta will have the lane choice as a result of his 482. And then the other semifinal will pit Larry Dixon with the lane choice over Doug Herbert here at the Mopar Parts Mile High National. Stay with us as the U.S. Geological Survey team continues to gather data. We're shaking the ground, and the floppers are up next.
Drug is drawing.
What if there were a liquid you could pour right into your car's engine that could actually improve your gas mileage? What a special potion that would be. And what if that same liquid gold also protected your engine, like a mother protects her young? Well, wake up and pour the Haviland, because you're not dreaming. New Haviland motor oil, unsurpassed protection. And now, test show, improved gas mileage. Haviland, something to think about this summer.
For your summer road trip, La Quinta wants to chip in for the gas. We'll give you $10 cash when you check out. Look for this coupon in USA Today or at laquinta.com and call La Quinta. You stay, we pay.
I don't even know why I bother. You're not even listening now, are you? Do you want to go home?
People do some strange things to cars. That's why there's Carfax. We'll give you the real history of any used car. Go to Carfax.com or ask your dealer for a Carfax report.
Who walks away with the Heisman? Matt, who inspired you to be here?
Right now, it's the guy at the hot pretzel stand. I need one. I don't think you do, fat boy.
Sunday Night Baseball presented by Nextel at 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. And if you're up for punishment and you're Colorado Rockies fans, you may want to tune in. 22-7 yesterday at Coors Field, not too far from here. The Dodgers just walloped them. Now, if you don't want that game, well, then just switch over to ESPN2 if you're an Oakland A's or Kansas City Royals fan on ESPN2. It is that game. So we're ready for more. Log on to ESPN.com. Yeah, the Rockies got thrashed. The headline in the paper was pretty brutal. It's getting brutal out here. 140-degree track temperature was 118 last round. That's Tommy Johnson Jr. in the right lane. Bob Gilbertson in the left. And Gilbertson wins his third round of 2001 and 2 in a row as he takes out the Skull Blue car. Let's go to Bill Stevens.
Gary Scelzi, you had a lot to do with Darrell Russell getting that ride with Joe Amato. That's the first time you've raced him, you beat him, and now unofficially you're in 5th place in the points.
Well, you got to take them one at a time, and I'm going to tell you what, I used her up with Team Winston. Thank God they give us enough dough to spend, because I spent it. Wore the good years out, too, but it's going to the semis, and that's a good thing, and you got to start somewhere.
Much better weekend than last year.
Yeah, and the smile on his face is very evident. Now, let's take a look at Tommy Johnson Jr.
It looks like they softened Tommy's car up a little bit. It's moving down there. He was behind on the incremental times to Gilbertson, but you're going to see the tires come loose out here about mid-range, and this engines do not, he pedals, you see him getting out of the throttle, and you see a cylinder out. These engines do not like that. That's what happens when the engines have so much fuel volume inside the engine. stuff gets confused and stuff starts blowing up.
Back at the starting line now. Interesting matchup. That's Dean Scusa you're on board with. He's over in the right-hand lane in the Mopar Parts Avenger. And in the left-hand lane, the #1 qualifier, Whit Bazemore. And what's interesting, Cruz, this is the exact same lanes that these guys ran back in round #1.
That's right, and it's nice to say that I feel the lanes are equal. The performances have proven the lanes are equal, but, you know, for Whit Bazemore, he comes in as a #1 qualifier, and like I talked about earlier, it means absolutely zero right now. In fact, first round, he was behind in the performance. He ran a 5:01. Dean Scusa ran a 5 flat. But to me, with the track temperature the way it is, the key to victory here for either of these cars is who manages the clutch, who backs the clutches off and adjusts the horsepower for the racetrack, because the racetrack is nowhere near what it was first round.
On board with Dean Scusa as the body goes up and the final adjustments made.
Dean Scusa had a really good reaction time in the first round. He had a 489, and first round for Bazemore had a 533. Bazemore had a bunch of string of lights in qualifying. They were 510, 510. I believe he had a 5.0. But then on race day, he just, you know, it's a whole different deal. And that's why I don't put too much in qualifying reaction time, because now is when the pressure's on. Now is when you need to dig in and cut those lights.
I like that little reminder on the dash left-hand side of Scusa's car. It says, drive it like you hate it. The #1 qualifier as Bazemore goes up in smoke. A 5:14, Dave Reed.
Here's the man responsible for that very, very critical clutch tune-up. What kind of changes did you make to get down this racetrack?
Actually, we didn't change much for that run. I slowed the clutch down a little bit there, but looks like we're going to have to do a little bit more. It ran good early, and then it got down there and started spinning the tires. So we'll go back and play with it a little bit and see what we can do.
Slowing the clutch down sounds like something you can explain, Chris.
Well, Bob Gilbertson is going to have lane choice over Dean Scusa as we ride on board with Scusa. As we go to commercial break, that's what a 5:14 looks like here in Denver.
Two-time AMA Superbike champion Matt Mladen and the unparalleled Suzuki GSXR line own the racetrack.
Finally, some good news about tires. Pep Boys has lowered prices, like high-quality 80,000-mile Futura tires, now as low as 4 for $179, and 55,000-mile Futuras, as low as 4 for $139. Plus, Pep Boys has quality tires in 10 sizes for imports and domestics, from as low as 4 for $99. So come to Pep Boys and get an incredible deal on tires. When it comes to saving money, all you need to know is where to go. Pep Boys.
Ever wonder what they do back there making burgers? I want to see! If you want to know if your food is made fresh, come to Subway.
Subway's got 4 new Subway Selects, like the Tasty Caesar Italian BMT. Subway, eat fresh!
We got a big problem.
Problem?
New Roundup.
New Roundup? What now?
It's twice as strong, faster than ever. It'll shrivel you all the way down to the roots.
So we can't grow back? Oh, I feel faint.
New Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem. You've never seen a Wagner power painter like this before. Now Wagner's innovative wide-shot power painter can spray today's thick one-coat paint better than ever, with complete coverage up to 12 inches wide. The Wagner Wide Shot gives you the power, performance, and control to get results in about a third of the time. The incredible wide-shot power painter from Wagner, for guys who like to run wide open.
Available at the Home Depot from $79.
Back here at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals, this is our Seismo Center, the U.S. Geological Survey, helping us out with all the seismology readings. 2.0 on the Richter scale is what the ground's shaking at here at the track. I think the celebration for Dean Scusa is about 3.0 on the Richter scale. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, they're rocking down here, Marty Reed. Hey, you know what? You had quite a day. You keep upsetting people. #1 qualifier's gone thanks to you. What next?
Well, you know what? This is Mopar's race, and we had a little team meeting this morning over our Java, you know, like we usually do, and I said, you know what? If we can pull a win out here in Denver, that would make up for the kind of bad first start of the season, you know what I mean? I mean, this is our Indy. This is it.
So far, so good.
All right, as you see the banners all around the track and the suites up there, and we've got Bruce Sarver and Ron Capps coming up next. Sarver over in that left-hand lane in the Amula.com Firebird. And then Ron Capps will be over in the right lane. Dave Reed.
Marty, I want to rewind back to the first round where Tommy Johnson went out and struggled. Ed got together with all the guys, Todd Okahara, Tommy Delago, Jason McCullough, Mike Green. They made some adjustments. Next thing you know, Ron Capps goes low ET on the weekend. Well, a similar thing has happened this time. Don't think we're going to see low ET, but expect Ron Capps' car to get down the racetrack.
See the actual wave as it comes across on our seismology equipment. 499, 305. He did not go lower than his earlier track record of 494, but it was a strong run, Cruz.
Boy, that's getting after it there. Ace McCullough. Ron Capps did his job. He left on Bruce Sarver, led every increment. But for Capps' car to run a 499 in this heat is really spectacular. That's really showing that this team's coming together, and I'm sure Ron's happy. He's fallen off lately, and he's excited.
And more importantly, number 2, number 3, and number 4 in the funny car points are out of here. And guess who's still running? The man who's number 1, John Force. In fact, that's our next pair. He's come to the line. He'll be over in the left-hand lane in the Castrol GTX Mustang. And it's Tony Pedregon in the right lane. Let's go to the far end, Bill Stevens.
Ron Capps at 499 now maybe is even a little more impressive than the 94 when it's a little bit cooler. Did you back the car down at all for that one?
Yeah, and it's you're up here in the mountain. A lot of things go through your head because it takes so much longer to make a good run. It really quivers the tires. You can feel these soft sidewalls going down the track, and you're ready to pedal it. And if it gets any worse, I was going to pedal it, but it didn't. And you know, the Skull guys, it's Walt Garrison, the roughest, toughest school cowboy I ever met, said you can't win them if you're not in them. So that's my advice for the day.
And they are in the semis.
All right, last time these two met was the peak of the finals. Were you with us? Well, it was a win for the left-hand lanes. Force goes up in smoke. Tony Pedregon took the win. Force, in their career, is 33 up and 9 down against Tony. And there's John Medlin.
I want to say this about the Force team. They're racing here. You know, I've even criticized them before. There's been some questionable races between Tony and John Force, but I got to tell you,
So you're going to go to Six Flags Great America. 5 senses, 6 Flags. You're going to feel the blast on intense rides like the new Vertical Velocity. Then and only then are you truly getting enough.
Six Flags! Visit SixFlags.com for more information on rides, shows, and attractions.
So originally, I thought I'd be a musician. You know, music excites me, but cooking, it inspires me. That's why we're doing a whole new series of The Essence of Emerald. That's what I want to share with you. It's like my song for you.
Essence of Emerald on Food Network.
Brought to you by Jewel Food Stores. Fresh to your family from Jewel.
Can happen to the best of us. This time it happened to Rich.
Keep in touch.
He ended up getting sent down.
And now, for sports.
Thank you, Courtney. All JV wrestlers must return their uniforms to Coach.
He was a real asset down there. His maturity, his experience.
Miss Joyson, could you buy some beer? Okay, when I go like this, that's your cue.
No.
Please?
No.
Come on.
No.
Do you even go to this school? Because you're not supposed to be on the show unless you go to this school.
But we're glad he worked his way back to the show, and I'm sure he is too.
So, let's see some James K. Polk spirit.
Been some questionable races between Tony and John Force, but I got to tell you, I don't know what it is. Maybe the criticism's getting to Force, but he's turning it out and letting Tony and Medlin and those guys run their race. So for you viewers at home, they're going to get it on here and race for the title here and get to the semifinals.
even if John loses, he really doesn't lose any ground in the points. As we mentioned, 2 through 4 gone. This time, Tony's up in smoke, and John runs a 5:09 at 2:96. And Dave Reef, it's all yours.
Well, the Battle of the John Force Wagons nets a 5:09 win for the King, John Force, as he goes in search of his 11th. Bernie, how about the setup right there?
We got real nervous when we saw how loose the track was and started pulling back, and it didn't produce a very good ET, but we did get the win, so I guess that's what counts at this point.
Easy to get nervous when it's over $1.40 now up here.
Well, it got the win, but does not have lane choice. Ron Capps, with the low of the round, has got that lane choice. In fact, here it is, the matchups in the semifinals with the lane choice. Bob Gilbertson by 4 100ths, and then Ron Capps has the choice over John Force. So just a moment ago, as we go to commercial break, there's John Force on his way to a 5:09. When we come back, the factory hot rods here at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals.
What are you doing, looking for change? What? You don't need change. Just pick up the phone and dial 1-800-CALLATT. Say with me, C-A-L-L-A-T-T.
Save big bucks on every call. Dial 1-800-CALLATT for collect calls.
Got a plate in my head.
Guys, switch to Mach 3. 3 blades for the closest shave in a single stroke. You'll love the difference. And so will we. Mach 3. From Gillette.
It's not like other places. People say good day instead of hi there. And good times are the order of the evening. And you can get a taste of the place just by watching an onion bloom. A great night out that feels like a holiday. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
You may have a turbo. You may even have 227 horses. But if you don't have the control of Subaru all-wheel drive, you can't touch this. The Subaru WRX, here at last. That's the beauty of Subaru all-wheel drive.
Get your kids back to school in style. Go to Circuit City, purchase select electronics, and receive a free X Games backpack. Plus, enter to win the ultimate back-to-school backpack loaded with cool electronics gear. Watch the X Games starting August 18th on ABC.
Factory hot rods on the starting line. Second round action. Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals, and Jim Yates in the split fire. Grand Am against Mike Edwards. Yates over in the right lane, Edwards in the left. And let's go back to that opening round for Jim Yates. That win over Brad Jeter. Let's talk about it one more time. The margin of victory was .0000 seconds. It doesn't get any closer. In other words, the clocks couldn't discriminate. It's just that Yates tripped the light first. That's how close it was. Yates cut the better light, but a 7:34 at 187 sends Mike Edwards into the semifinals here at Vandermeer Speedway. Let's take another look. A good, close race.
It was close, and Mike Edwards was trying to give it to Yates. He had an uncharacteristic 4:92 reaction time, and Yates was right there with a 4:64, but this race was a lot closer than it should have been with the reaction time, especially when you figure that Edwards had a 4:14 light the first round. But, man, that's why the drivers have to be there. Look at how close that race is right at the stripe.
Let's take a look at the incrementals, and you can see at the 60-foot mark, it was Mike Edwards. Also at the 660 mark at half track, and of course at the finish line. And you saw how close it was. You're on board right now with Darrell Alderman, the brand new Dodge Neon. He'll be over in the right lane. In the left lane, it'll be KJ, Kurt Johnson. He's in the Cavalier. Now, Alderman is 9 up and 3 down over Kurt Johnson, and this is a repeat of last year's final, won by Kurt. And Alderman has got to be happy right now, Cruz, because he got past his biggest nemesis for the first time ever in 12 meetings, beating Jake Coughlin, the Winston champion, in round number 1.
Yeah, that was a big win. Big win, obviously, but Alderman here to me is in this race. He could very easily win this race. The thing that he has to do is maintain that starting line advantage that he's had. He had a great light in the first round, and he's going to need, you know, the closer you get to the finish, to the end here in the ladder system, the tougher the cars get. So you really have to, the monkey's on the driver's back, so to speak.
Slowly coming to the line, Darrell finally creeping in. Here comes KJ. I don't think they have to worry about heating the engines. Boiling outside.
On paper, these two drivers are separated by 1/100th of a second. That's you can make a lot of that up right on the reaction time, right at that tree you're looking on the left side of your screen.
Here we go. The burn down is on. Who's going in first, KJ? Identical off the line.
Oh, it's over. He broke.
So Kurt runs a 7:35 at 188, and something happened to Darrell Alderman right on the launch as he breaks just after the 60-foot mark. Let's go on board with Darrell, see if we can pick up anything, Cruz.
Well, let's look at the little light here. Let's see if the engine revved up. You see it revving up right there, and something broke. He had RPMs because that light comes on when they set it about 9,500 RPM. Something broke, and there was nothing he can do but watch Kurt drive down the racetrack. Oh, a lot of tire shake there. Okay, looks like a drivetrain, something broke. When you get that much tire shake, it puts so much stress on the valve or the drive train. Something just come undone in there and said, you know what, I'm not going to go along with the party today, folks.
And it's bad news for the brand new Neons, as now both he and Mark Osborne are out of here. Larry Morgan, who only had 2 weeks to put his car together, did not make the field. So it is not going to be a good day for the factory hot rods at the Dodge camp here at the Mopar Parts. Mile High National, but Scusa is still around in funny car. Let's go to the far end, Bill.
Kurt Johnson, you've had new car blues before as Darrell Alderman breaks his, but you're moving along.
Well, that wind light down there is a beautiful thing. And, you know, all these Mopar people, they're got out there pumping up for this Neon project. And believe me, they put the scare of God in me. That 29 Darrell ran last night. And you got to remember, these GM people put a lot of work in this Cavalier, though.
And he's the defending event champion, looking for 2 in a row.
Yeah, that was a rematch of the final last year. Now let's talk about Dad, WJ. The Western swing last year was a nightmare. Take a look. Round 2 has been his nemesis in 2000. But right now, he has got the opportunity to lengthen his points lead. Because Jim Yates, Jake Coughlin, Mark Powick, all out of here. That's second, third, and fourth in the points. The professor breaks the string. He moves on to the semifinals with a 7:33. Right now, that's low ET of the round. Remember, track temperature up to 140 at 188 miles an hour. So Warren will move into the semifinals, and he'll have the lane choice over Mike Edwards, and he's one step closer to victory number 86 in his career. Next pair coming out. In fact, our final pair here in Pro Stock. Right lane will be Alan Johnson. Left lane, Ron Krischer. Krischer got here by taking care of business over Tom Martino, and of course Alan Johnson hole-shotted Bruce Allen, our #1 qualifier. Let's go to the far end, Bill.
Low ET of the round, WJ, 734. One round at a time seems to be a pretty good strategy.
Well, I think everybody's got the same approach up here. Like I said before, you know, we're not a lot of us are acclimated to racing up here. In fact, none of us are. So, because we only come here once a year, we'll test here maybe once out of 5 years. So, there's a lot of guessing going back and forth on there, and whoever gets the round pegs and round holes usually does a little bit better job. But we're happy with the Goodyear Service Plus Grand Am.
By the way, I love your TV commercials.
Yeah, I'm not giving up my day job. Good answer, Warren. But I got to admit, I like the commercials too. Alan Johnson in the right lane, Krischer in the left side, and these guys are ready to go to war. Alan Johnson had the start, but Ron Krischer gets the win at a 7:30, so that's low ET of the round. He'll have lane choice over Darrell Alderman. Stay with us when we come back. A lot more from Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals.
The Miller Genuine Draft Blind Date. Mystery Band. Mystery Location. Get lost in the sound. Really lost. Look under labels to play.
I can tell my stepdaughter feels like we have nothing in common.
How was your day? It's pretty good.
I think we're kind of feeling each other out still.
Can I call you back?
We do share one thing. My clothes. She loves borrowing them, but she always manages to drip something all over them.
Introducing Tide Kick. Measure out the deep clean formula, treat your stains, toss it into wash. It eliminates more of your stains than any leading pre-treater and regular detergent combined.
A year from now, I'd like to think we're just really good friends.
Can happen to the best of us. This time it happened to Rich.
Keep in touch.
He ended up getting sent down.
And now for sport.
Thank you, Courtney. All JV wrestlers must return their uniforms to Coach.
He was a real asset down there. His maturity, his experience.
Miss Johnson, could you buy some beer? Okay, when I go like this, that's your cue.
No.
Please?
No.
Come on.
No.
Do you even go to this school? Because you're not supposed to be on the show unless you go to this school.
But we're glad he worked his way back to the show, and I'm sure he is too.
So, let's see some James K. Polk spirit.
Joe, the Dodgers going to Coors Field, and the Oakland Athletics in Kansas City. Johnny Damon returns to KC.
To face guys like Jermaine Dye, good hitter.
Dodgers Rockies on ESPN. A's Royals on ESPN2. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Nextel, 8 o'clock tonight.
And we're back here at Vandermeer Speedway, and joining us as we get ready for second round action in Pro Stock Bike, former Pro Stock biker Stephanie Reeves. Glad to have you. You've got a new program going with GM. Can you tell us much about it?
I can't tell you much about it. It's top secret, but it's really exciting, and it's a step in the direction that I wanted to head a few years ago, and progressively I'm getting there.
Now, you're also going to do the memorial ride for Dave Schultz, and that's going to be a little bit later today.
Yes, it will be. It has a lot of meaning here because I was the first woman to qualify at a national event here. I set the track record in '97, and I started here with Dave, and it's appropriate to end it this way.
And you're going to stick through this round with us and help us analyze what's going on. First round was really bizarre. 4 red lights, and then Angel sets a new track record.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a little bit of magic stuff going on there, and you just didn't know what was going to happen. I couldn't believe there were so many red lights.
Well, let's take a look because we've got in this first matchup Chris Bostic over in the right lane, Greg Underdahl in the left lane. It was Underdahl, one of those beneficiaries, as Gino Scali red lit in round number 1.
That's what you call rolling the lights there on the right lane, Bostic.
And the win light, Greg Underdahl advances to the semifinals with a 787. It's a whole shot win for him, quicker but losing, 784. So as we go back to...
Oh, that's great, in the semis.
And now we've got the pair of Reggie Showers. There's Reggie over in that right-hand lane. He took care of business in the first round. Again, winning on a red light. Sean Gann was the one to break the tree too early. Matt Hines has the lane choice. He's over on the left side after running a 771 in round number 1 against Plain Hale.
Stephanie, I've never ridden one of these bikes, but do you really have to use a lot of body English, like driving funny cars and top fuel cars like I have? It just seems like the riders, when they move out of the groove a little bit, like they move their bodies. Is that what goes on in there?
Yeah, and the key is really you don't want to roll it over onto the side because of the big tire. You want to just kind of stick a knee or an elbow out.
Okay.
And moving around is maybe a little bit much. Sometimes directs it too much the wrong way.
example, Reggie drifted out of the line, and the win light goes with a 767 to Matt Hines to the losing 775. Back in the funny car pits, Dave Reef, what's going on?
I am deep in the jungles of Bob Gilbertson, Stewart, and Stevenson pit, where they are soldiering into their first semifinal this year despite a missing man. Bob's in the war wagon working on a round 3 setup right now, and boy, it's been a great day for you guys so far.
Yeah, beautiful. Hey, we're really happy this new Pontiac, this Desert Storm car, seems to be flying down the track. And, you know, Team FMTV, Stuart Stevenson, we got Jimmy Stewart out here. He's all tipped over. He's never seen these guys work this hard. And we're down one guy. He's got cancer, and he's on his way back to Charlotte right now. And we're just happy to be here. We're excited.
That man, Mike Hennessy, and here's the plan. Need more power. Going to Paul Smith for it.
Yeah, it's easy to look at on the screen. It's hard to transfer out onto the track. Speaking of transferring out onto the track, here's our next pair. Antron Brown over in the right lane. He's up against Craig Treble. Antron ran a 766 in round number 1.
These are two really good, very talented riders right here, and it could be anyone's race. They both improved so much since they first started. It's great to see more competitors like this out there.
Close one, and Antron sneaks it out with a 768 to the 770 of Craig Treble, and that is the best race that we've seen in 2 rounds of action here in Pro Stock Bike so far. Now, are we going to ever see you back on a Pro Stock Bike?
No, just today's pass will be it.
So this is basically a retirement run, too.
It is. It's a little sad, but I'm anxious and excited to move into the direction that I'm headed.
Well, we're glad you stopped by, and you're going to stick around for this last part of the session, I hope.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's good to see you again. Now back out on the racetrack. Here comes the new track record holder. There is Angèle Savoie, and she did it last time out with a 7.631 second blast, and she'll be going up against the 18-year-old wonder kid, GT Tonglet.
Perfect. Perfectly straight. Right for your target.
You can hear George Bryce giving her directions on her sight lines. She picks an area on the track, and that's what she aims for at the front. Did you do the same thing when you were riding?
Yeah, you kind of, you know, the one thing that I missed this year with Dave is he always told you which way to point because sometimes there's a crown in the track. So I went by him a lot. A lot of riders do look way down the track and pick a point and follow it.
Another good one. And Angèle, a 761, a new track record, 175. Let's listen in. Nope, I guess we're not going to be able to listen in. Let's go to Bill Stevens.
I'm with the carnivorous Antron Brown, number 1 qualifier. And you just heard the elapsed time for Angèle Savoie, and you said, oh my.
Definitely. Those are some stout numbers out here this week. Unbelievable number, but she probably had a great 60 foot, but hey, we're just stoked to go to the next round with this Jurassic Park bike, man. It's awesome doing this deal for Universal Studios. Troy's pumped up at home. My crew chief Mark's been doing an awesome job up here, and we're just going to keep on motivating and try to get to the final round here. And it's just going to be a stout weekend, hopefully.
Well, he's on the opposite side of the ladder from Angèle, so if they're successful in the semis, they will meet in the final.
Yeah, you can see the T-Rex there on the bike as part of the Jurassic Park 3. And here is the statistics. The 768 good for lane choice over Underdog for Antron in 1 semifinal. And Angèle, another track record over Matt Hines. And Steph, thanks so much for joining us. We'll wish you good fortune in the trip down the road.
Thanks, Marty.
All right, we got to take a commercial break. That's George Bryce. He's loving it, saying, oh, yeah, stay with us.
Used to be there was only one big guy out there delivering pizzas. Then an upstart came along. And with each passing year, you saw more and more Papa John's cars. Perhaps that's because Papa John's uses only quality ingredients. It's made us the fastest growing pizza chain in America. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Get an extra large 1-topping Big Papa and 2 liters of Coke for only $10.99. That's just $10.99.
for these vehicles and yours. That's the Mopar difference.
Hold on! I'm coming for you!
The Suzuki King Quad is the only all-terrain vehicle that has a 3-speed sub-transmission.
Hold on!
And locking front differential that allows you to transfer power equally to all 4 wheels to get you where you need to go.
I'm coming! I almost lost you there.
The King Quad from Suzuki.
Crackhead, drug dealer, street hustler, gang member. All kicked out of the community with the help of kids like me.
Me.
Us. You can make a difference. We have the power to help prevent crime. Call 1-800-722-TEENS to find out what you can do in your community.
It's time we're judged by
What we do.
not how we look.
Don't forget to join host Bill Stevens and Bob Fry for all your weekly drag racing coverage on NHRA Heat Thursday night, 6:30 Eastern, here on ESPN2. For more, log on to ESPN.com. You know, 2 weeks ago, we were at the home of drag racing in Pomona, California, and even though we've moved on, a part of the history of this sport remains in Southern California.
If Wally Parks ever had a dream, it was to open a drag racing museum. In reality, a motorsports museum. He realized that dream in April of 1998 when the NHRA Motorsports Museum opened as part of the LA County Fairgrounds and that complex of buildings there.
The museum was a dream of anybody that had been involved with NHRA for any period of time. It was way back into the probably 1960s, but we didn't seriously consider it until 1982. And then we started putting ideas together. Had no idea where it was going to be located, but we knew that we needed a museum.
From the beginning, no one could ever have envisioned the impact that the museum would have. The cars and memorabilia inside give a historical account of where the sport was and where it is going in the future.
There is a tremendous amount of automobilia, if you will, in the display cases that are there at this NHRA Motorsports Museum. There's something to see, and you can spend days, literally, and never see it all. It's quite an achievement on the part of NHRA to assemble this tremendous numbers of cars. Milestone cars of modern era, Warren Johnson's Pro Stock car, Bob Glidden's Pro Stock car, Kenny Bernstein's 300-mile-an-hour car. He just donated that. The museum now owns the Budweiser car that he established the 300-mile-an-hour, broke that barrier back in 1992. So you can go to this museum and really see lots of different things.
I just couldn't believe how nice a job they did with it, because it really shows the cars, not only the cars, but trophies and different things that we used to win and have back in those days. But you know, it's going back in time. It's like walking into the Indianapolis Museum for the Indy 500. They have a museum there on the grounds. I think this is the best thing drag racing has to offer, and to really show the cars off.
Each time I come into this museum, I'm just kind of blown away because it is so colorful and it has so many memories in the thing for me. And that's one of the things that I've found since we've opened it that makes it appealing to other people. It's a very emotional experience for so many, and it doesn't matter whether they're involved in drag racing or what other forms of motorsports.
And I have been there, and I can tell you it is well worth the trip. We're celebrating 50 years of power, and we've got to send a get well message to one of our own, an NHRA crew member, Johnny Moto. It's not an artistic success, but it's well thought of, and you are too, Johnny. We'll see it when we come back.
Attention woodworkers. Woodworkers Shop in Morris has everything you need to get that project done. The first step in any woodworking project is selecting the right type of wood. At Woodworkers Shop, we have an entire warehouse you're free to browse through. From softwoods to hardwoods to exotics, our warehouse is the perfect place to shop for your woodworking project. Stop by Woodworkers Shop today. We're located on Route 47, just south of Morris.
The top 8 reasons to go to Classic Billiards in Crest Hill. Shoot from 11 to 5 for only $9 per person. We have the largest pool room in the Joliet area. Our clean family atmosphere. We offer professional instruction. We sell billiard accessories. Environmentally friendly air purification to enhance your enjoyment. Our spacious, wheelchair-accessible playing area. We host tournaments. Take our cue and stop by Classic Billiards in Crest Hill, located in the Hillcrest Shopping Center.
Two-time Indy champ.
Hold it, guys. Winning's great, but you should understand why winners win.
Al's right. What are their pit strategies? How do exhaust layouts and wing adjustments figure in?
Good questions, John Kernan of RPM Tonight.
When you truly understand motorsports, the winning just gets more special.
Wow, look at the sky.
Seems like we're all winners today, Robbie.
Remember, to know is to love.
RPM Tonight, Sunday pre- and post-race on ESPN2.
Well, we're back here at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals, and Mark Miramonte, our geophysicist from the U.S. Geological Survey, is back with us. And first off, one more question. We now know that we are shaking the ground at 2.0 on the Richter scale. But is there anything that you can compare this to, Mark, that is man-made as well?
Well, I would compare this from my own experience to the vibrations that one may feel from a small quarry blast if you were standing near the quarry itself.
So in other words, dynamite.
Near the right, yeah, yes, dynamite.
So we're exploding the ground here a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't say exploding the ground, but you're definitely inputting some vibrations into it.
Well, listen, I really appreciate all you guys have done. In fact, John Lahr, your partner in crime from yesterday, was telling me that he's had nothing but demands for autographs, and the girls are coming up to him, so you have a lot to look forward to now tomorrow when you go back to the office. We appreciate you coming by and helping us out to figure out just how much pounding we put into the ground. We appreciate it.
Dave, glad to be here. Thank you.
That's Doug Herbert. We're getting ready for semifinal action. He's trying to go to his 13th career final for Larry Dixon. He's trying to go to his 29th. Dixon in the right lane, Herbert in the left lane. Dixon's 9-2 in his career in this matchup.
I'm sure Larry Dixon would like to rock the world of Doug Herbert here and catch Bernstein in the points. Driver's race.
Here we go.
Driver's going to win it.
Larry Dixon does it. 5:26. It was ugly, but he got there first to a 5:38 for Doug Herbert. And Larry Dixon moves one step closer to narrowing the gap with Kenny Bernstein. By our unofficial count, if he can win that final, we think it'll be about a 3-point difference in the points chase between Kenny Bernstein and the Miller Lite machine of Larry Dixon. And look at him. He knows how important that round really was.
Marty, this drag racing, it doesn't matter how quick you run. It's get to the finish line first, and Larry Dixon did his job there. Simultaneous tire smokes. It was the driver that can recover first, and that was Larry Dixon for the win.
All right, let's go to Dave Reed.
Marty got a chance to talk with Dick LaHaye. He let out a big sigh of relief as he makes his way back to the pit to start looking at the computer. He knows that Larry just saved that round for him, so he's going to get one more chance. It's a chance he's been looking for all year. As he said, they can close in on the points.
Next up, Team Winston in the left lane. That's Gary Selzy. He has won 10 of 16 matches with this man over in the right lane, Doug Coletta. And as the burnout's complete, let's go to the far end. Bill.
Larry Dixon's going to the final round, and to do it, well, the driver had to do his job.
Yeah, we won the ugly contest, you know. I mean, it's just so tough running up here, and we're sitting up there for a long time and just waiting to run and track, you know, with the sun on it and everything like that. I was just happy to get the win light. The hardest thing ever to do is when you're out front and it smokes the tires, lift, you know, because you're scared the guy's going to drive back around you. He didn't, and he got the win light. One more round.
Let's scoot over to Doug Herbert. He was the winner in Pomona just a couple of weeks ago. Doug Herbert, even though you lost, you got to feel pretty good. The last couple of races looks like you're coming around with the program.
Yeah, it's been coming around with the stuff on team. Everybody's doing a good job, and we just dropped the cylinder or smoked them just a little bit before Larry did, so that's make us. Well, all in all, we're pretty happy, and hopefully we can just keep on rocking on this Western swing. If we do, we'll be looking pretty good.
And until Pomona, they didn't have anything to be happy about this year.
Well, one of these guys is going to be unhappy as well, Bill. For Doug Coletta, he's looking to go to his 19th final round and perhaps his 4th victory of 2001. For Gary Selzy, he's still looking for for victory number 1 in 2001, but his 35th final and his first ever here at Denver.
There's a lot on the line here. This is a huge round for Gary Selzy. As we talked about, he's winless. This is a big one. He's going to have a handful against Coletta.
for Doug Coletta, and he had him off the line as well. So Doug Coletta is going to have lane choice over Larry Dixon in the finals. So as we go on board with Doug Coletta, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll come back. We'll talk to Doug and also get ready for Funny Car semifinal action.
These days, everything's being called fresh. Fresh brewed coffee. Fresh picked corn. You picked this? How about you, Farmer Brown? You want fresh made? Try the new Subway Selects.
Right, Jim. Subway has 4 new Subway Selects, like the tasty Southwest chicken.
People do some strange things to cars. But Carfax can give you the real history of any used car, and that could save you thousands. Go to Carfax.com or your dealer for a Carfax report. Don't buy a used car without Carfax.
Know how to spot a die-hard battery owner? Look for their junker cables. Die-hard, 30 years of starting power. How much do you trust your battery?
A vacation's easier with free local calls, voicemail, and a data port in each La Quinta room. And $10 cash when you check out. Look for this coupon in USA Today or at LaQuinta.com. And call La Quinta. You stay, we pay.
Is that the Tree Topper 2000?
It's a great chainsaw.
Love the outdoors? Get your ticket to the great outdoors from ESPN and Jeep Liberty. Win a Jeep Liberty loaded with gear, or fishing in Alaska, riding in Colorado, or a trip to the great outdoor games. Just enter at ESPN.com, then watch the games to see if you've won.
Whoa! We are.
This ain't no strip mall.
Here we have our finest.
Forget about it, cue ball. That ain't a time. Get
knucklehead. Hand
Now that's nice. Come on, Manny. Buy one. No, buy 10. Buy the whole stinking store.
Water.
Hey, I'm not done. Wait. Yeah.
Get into the lives of athletes off the field. The Life, presented by Sprite, Saturdays at 10 a.m. on ESPN.
Don't forget to join us next weekend from Seattle for NHRA Northwest Nationals on Saturday. We have a 1-hour qualifying show at 7 o'clock Eastern, followed by a 2-hour show at 10 p.m. Eastern. Then on Sunday, final eliminations begin at 6 o'clock Eastern time. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Let's go to the far end, Bill.
486.3 beats a 486.7. I can only imagine what's going through your mind, Gary.
Well, I gave it everything I had. I mean, that's all I had. It's, we lost the blower seal or something on there, you know, and I just, I mean, we're better than we were last year at this time. And Negley Electric, Team Winston, and NGK, Gates, and everybody, we still love you. We gained a little bit, so we're all right.
A lot of talk this year about Kenny Bernstein, Larry Dixon. Don't forget about him, Doug Coletta, going to the final round.
Yeah, I tell you, we're real happy about that. So, you know, we're you know, Connie and the Mac guys, you know, we're working real hard at just getting it to go down the track. And it's fun and pretty good out there, but, you know, we're just really hoping for the best out here. And just like to thank Suburban and Gates and Champion. You know, it's all been a big part of this weekend, getting where we're at.
Going for win number 4 this year.
And next up is Funny Car. We've got Bob Gilbertson over in the right lane, and there's Dean Scusa in the left. We've got the onboard camera. Scusa trying to go to his 13th final round. He is 3 up and 2 down in his head-to-head meetings with Mr. Gilbertson. And, of course, for the Stewart Stevenson car, Bob has been to 1 career final. He won that one last year at Houston. He's been to the semis, and that was a year ago at Pomona. So it's been a while for this kind of success for this team.
It has been. If you notice, the Gilbertson car has a new paint scheme. I like this paint job a lot better than the last one, but it's a new Pontiac. They normally run a Chevy Camaro on there, so that Pontiac gives them an electric downforce. It's going to need it here. Cylinder out for, there we go, Gilbertson.
Bob Gilbertson is on his way to the finals. A 5.10 at 291 miles an hour. Dave Reed.
And that is the Desert Storm colors on top of that car. Paul Smith, you have worked your magic here on the mount again.
Well, that's the first week we run the Pontiac on it. And it seems to work pretty good. It's spun the tires down there a little bit, but Bob's doing a good job. Stuart Stevens behind us. So, well, we got John Ford sitting over there, so we ain't going to say nothing until the final comes.
Of course, Ron Capps will have to say something about that, too.
That's for sure. That's the next showdown. And there's Bob climbing out of the cockpit as these guys have made it to the finals, and he is going to be one happy race car driver. Yeah, he's saying thank you, Pontiac. That baby flew.
Marty, the victory here for them is they're staying within their own program here. They're not trying to get out there and look over their shoulders and trying to run those numbers because they know the track is not going to hold it. So a 5:10 doesn't look good on paper, but believe me, it'll get you wins out here with the conditions the way they are.
Well, remember, Force made it to the semifinals with a 5:09 last time out. Bill, it's all yours.
Let's see, Bob Gilbertson, another final round after a 1.5 year wait. You're kind of spacing them out. Oh, this 10,000 feet of air, I can't hardly breathe. I'm so excited. Sure, Stevenson, I don't know. I'm happy. I'm glad to be talking to you. A man of few words, but I'll tell you, he's so excited he can hardly speak, as you can see.
Well, let's go back to the starting line because we're going to find out who is going to meet Bob Gilbertson in that final. Will it be the green skull Camaro of Ron Capps? Or will it be the 10-time Winston champion, John Force? Dave Reed?
Well, Marty, it's the benefit of the two-car teams. Both cars, or both machines have had other cars in the field today. Earlier, we've seen that Ron Capps has been able to learn off of Tommy Johnson Jr.'s misfortunes earlier in the day. But he is now gone, which means the pressure to make a correct call is on Andy Ace-McCullough. He knows that John Force is here once again, and they've given up a lot of opportunities to try to stop John Force. So there's a little bit of pressure over there on Andy Ace-McCullough right now.
Well, I got to tell you a cute story. Ron told me that he changed his first diaper on son Caden, their newborn. And, of course, boys being boys, Old Faithful erupted. And he says, I had good reaction times, Marty. That's all I can tell you. And he says it's a good omen, and he's going to need it right now.
Marty, all I know is Ron Capps has John Force right where he wants him, has lane choice, has the momentum. But if John Force gets out of this round, I'm not going to know what to say because Ron Capps, it's all on his shoulders. Let's see what he can do with the 10-time champ.
Capps looking to go to his 23rd final, and you know how big Force is.
That's what
Smoke the tires. Look at the look on Ed the Ace McCullough's face. A 5:15. He was there for the taking, and they couldn't do it. So John Force is going to his 149th career final. Could it be career victory number 97? Take a look. Lane choice to Bob Gilbertson. That's right. He has the lane choice over John Force by 5/100ths. Now we're going to go on board to break with Dean Scusa right along as we're going down the racetrack here at Vandermeer Speedway. The 22nd running of the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals.
Listen, I need that freeway story by noon. Not now. Come on, come on.
Yeah. Sure.
You better not be dead again.
What if people treated you
Let's go.
the way you treat your car? Pep Boys treats cars right. Introducing Energizer to our quality line of ProStart automotive batteries.
All right. Who wants to give me a hand?
All you need to know is where to go. Pep Boys.
Hey, man. Where have you been?
The Outback.
In the Outback, huh? Well, you missed a great game.
No, I saw it there.
In the Outback.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good reception?
It's great. They're very friendly, too.
You see any wildlife?
Well, the big blooming onions are pretty wild.
And the food?
We're talking about the food.
A great night out that feels like a holiday. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Well, are you still talking to Hollywood?
Yes, there is talk about doing a Paul Bunyan remake.
Great Outdoor Games, presented by Jeep Liberty, begin Thursday at 8 on ESPN.
Son, that's Al Unser Jr., two-time Indy champ.
Hold it, guys. Winning's great, but you should understand why winners win.
Al's right. What are their pit strategies? How do exhaust layouts and wing adjustments figure in?
Good questions, John Kernan of RPM Tonight.
When you truly understand motorsports, the winning just gets more special.
Wow, look at the sky.
Seems like we're all winners today, Robbie.
Remember, to know is to love.
RPM Tonight, Sunday pre- and post-race on ESPN2.
Back here at Vandermeer Speedway at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals. Let's go the far end. Bill has got both Ron Capps and John Force.
And in another classic matchup, John Force comes out on top, going to your 6th final round on the mountain, John, but this guy made you work for it.
Well, I watched them Chevrolets run 95 all weekend. He had the good lane, left lane, got oil, and his kid's young with a lot of energy. I'm on oxygen in the hot rod trying to keep up with him, and I tried to steal everywhere on the light that I could, and I just know he's there, and we got away with it, and he didn't. What the heck?
And Ron, you've got to be exasperated every time you have a chance to punch him out. Just come up a little short.
Yeah, you know, don't get me wrong. Everybody gauges himself upon how he does, and it's not. You know, we had the best hot rod, got the track record. We'll see if they can break that on the way out of here, but. It's a bummer. I mean, the thing just going down the track, smoke was all day, and then went up in smoke, and to watch him go down there and then run 5:15, man, it's like sticking a dagger in your back. But it's cool, guys. You got us a good tune-up. We'll head to Seattle. We'll be all right.
And these guys aren't done with each other before the season's over.
All right, let's shift gears, get to the factory hot rods. WJ in the left lane, looking to go to his 134th final. Mike Edwards over in the right lane, looking to go to his 3rd of this year. And, of course, Warren is looking to break that all-time tie record with Bob Glidden. They have each 185.
Edwards is late off the line. 5:18, that's uncharacteristic.
It's going to cost him. The win light is going to go to Warren Johnson. A 7:35 with a 2. Only 6 1/1000ths of a second separated them, but 4 100ths difference in the margin of victory. So Warren Johnson moves on to his 134th career final. Now, who will he meet? Will it be his son, Kurt Johnson, or will it be Ron Krischer? We're about to find out.
Marty, think about reaction times. You get up there, you're keyed up, you're racing a guy like Warren Johnson, talking about the last race, and something just doesn't quite, you know, when you really need it. But, you know, like I was talking earlier, when the pressure's on, that's when the human body really needs to focus, and sometimes guys have it, sometimes they don't.
The side-by-side burnouts. Let's go to the far end. WJ is with Bill.
Warren, you don't look like a guy that's only won here twice in your career.
Well, as I said before, you know, we're all kind of searching for the right combination up here, and it's kind of elusive up here when you're racing at this kind of altitude. But at the same time, you figure if somebody raced up here all the time and then had to go down to sea level, it'd be terrifying. We're just happy to have the Goodyear Service Plus Grand Am in the final.
Real quick, has the track changed at all today?
It's gotten warmer, a little greasier out there. We've had to make some compensation for it, but we're just happy to win.
Everybody's happy to win today.
Track temperature at the last measurement was over 140 degrees. Now, Kurt Johnson is 10 up and 4 down in his career over Ron Krischer. And KJ beat Krischer last year here in the semifinals. So this is a rematch.
Some huge ball spots on the starting line, I noticed. But, you know, these pro stock cars, because you don't have the horsepower up here in the elevation, they like that little bare concrete so they can get a little bit of wheel speed. That's what they look for.
Well, Krischer lost on a red light here last year. I'm sure it's in his mind right now.
There's another one for you.
And he does it again.
He just hadn't had enough. He wants to just give you another one.
Well, he did it. A 7:33 is going to give KJ lane choice over the old man, and he's going to try and thump Dad in the final. And the red light wastes a 7:35 for Ron Krischer. Take a look. It is father and son, WJ and KJ, in the finals of Pro Stock here at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals. And remember, Kurt won this race last year, and there's Antron Brown focusing in. The bikes are coming up next. Semifinal action. That's Angel Savoy here at Vandermeer.
With full-time all-wheel drive, the new Subaru WRX stays glued to the road. With a turbocharged 227 horsepower boxer engine, you'll swear you're flying. That's the beauty of Subaru all-wheel drive.
Roundup. It will be your greatest enemy when you take over the weed family.
Me? Leave the family?
New Roundup is stronger, faster. It kills to the root.
So when I take over, we'll all be dead?
New Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem.
Dude, what are you
doing, looking for change? What? You don't need change. Just pick up the phone and dial 1-800-CALLATT. Say with me, C-A-L-L-A-T-T.
Save big bucks on every call. Dial 1-800-CALLATT for collect calls.
Got a plate in my head.
Where's my magazine?
Hey, Ray, can you believe that they got Marcus Camby to do the commercial with the ESPN the magazine and not me and you?
I don't know, Chris, but, Marcus was pretty good. But we've been perfect for this part.
I know, especially we both subscribers to ESPN the magazine, and we both got the free fleece jacket.
When you eat, live, and breathe sports, ESPN the magazine is where you want to be.
You know, Chris, we need to work on this paddle yo-yo thing. I think that's what ESPN the magazine wants.
Yeah, you're probably right, Ray.
Call now for ESPN the magazine. Bigger, bolder, with words and pictures that zoom right to the heart of the game.
Okay, we need to rehearse this. Check it. How's this? Where's my magazine?
I like that.
Get 26 issues, a year's worth for just $1 an issue. 66% off the newsstand price. And our gray fleece pullover is free.
That's my magazine, man.
Perfect. Call now. 1-877-ESPN-111.
Semi-final action in Pro Stock Bike coming your way here in the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals. Bruce Pendragon, Bill Stevens, Dave Reef. I'm Marty Reed. We're glad you're with us. And let's go to Bill Stevens.
Kurt Johnson's overjoyed. I just told him he got lane choice over Dad in the final round. Equal horsepower, AC Delco Camp, the Cavalier, the whole team did their job. We tested here last Tuesday, made 5 runs, came in, 5 runs, flew out, and everybody just kind of, wow. They were in 31 and 33, and, we're kind of lucky because we had the combination from last year to win, but all it is a bunch of hard work. And no hanky-panky in the final round. I want you to race hard. Real hard. Love it.
All right, let's get ready now for Pro Stock Bikes. Greg Underdahl is living the charmed life. The number 13 qualifier could be going to his first final. He beat Bostic on reaction time in round number 2. Antron, of course, has already been to 4 finals this year. He's looking to go to his 12th career final over in that right-hand lane in the Jurassic Park 3 movie promo get-up. He's got the driver's suit and T-Rex on the side. Or is that? No, that's a Velociraptor. I got to stay up on this dinosaur stuff. Well, you see the disgust over in the left lane for Greg Underdahl. The dream has come to an end, and a 7:67 sends Antron Brown to the finals for the 12th time in his career. Who's he going to face? Will it be Matt Hines or Angel Savoy? Well, that's what we'll find out here in just a moment.
Looking at this matchup here, Matt Hines has not really had the performance. Let's face it, he's going to have a, hopefully in the pit for them, they've made some adjustments because he's looking at a 7:67 previous round. Angel had a 7:61, but the statistic that I'm looking at is reaction time. First round, Matt Hines at a 4:17, second round, a .418. So he's going to have to deal out another one of those reaction time and hope Angel cooperates and has like a 5-something line.
Well, Angel, the last 2 rounds, has lowered the track record, and it's now down at a 7:61. And she told me, she goes, hey, this weekend I'm a new mom. I go, what? Wait a minute. So soon? She just got married. I go, no, I got a perfect monkey. It's an 8-week-old named Andy, and she's got pictures everywhere in the transporter.
Well, she can't monkey around here. I figured I better get a little corny here on you, Marty, here. But hey, Matt Hines, you cannot count him out. He won many championships, and in the pits, if they made the right changes, they could be in the game here.
Matt taking a little time to light the top light. There we go. Matt is 14 up, 11 down in head-to-head meeting.
Oh, that isn't going to get it done. Just handed her the victory.
Matt gives it away. We'll listen in to George. Well,
65. 404 light, girl. You kicked his butt.
Yeah.
Good job. Way to stay cool.
Let's see if Angel says anything. Now we're getting a little breakup. Let's go to Bill Stevens.
Antron Brown was down here listening to the PA announcement as to what Angel just did. You got your hands full.
Oh, yes, indeed. You always have your hands full with that Winston team over there, but, I feel confident in my team. We have this FMS horsepower in this bike. I have an awesome crew chief, Mark Pizer. My dad's behind us. His team's behind us. I think we could have enough to take what it takes.
It should be a great final round. Let's go over and talk to Angel Savoy. This is going to be the 4th time this year that Angel and her cousin-in-law, Antron Brown, will be squaring off in the final round. Angel gets the safety equipment off. You've had quite a bad bike this weekend, young lady. We're very impressed with that track record 761, so we're expecting something big in the final.
Yeah, I have to give a thumbs up to George Bryce, my tuner. Tuning at this track with altitude and the heat, it's really tough. The track has been slick, you know, but he's managing to find the best spots up there. He's getting his team Winston Suzuki to just get to the finish line, and it doesn't seem like 760s. It seems like 720s out here, so we're just having a great time.
And Marty, of course, if she wins the race, history will be made here on the mountain.
You're right. It'll be the 19th career victory, which would break the tie with Shirley Muldowney. She has the lane choice by 2/100ths of a second in the Pro Stock Bike Final. Stay with us when we come back. Still more to come, and that's the work on the crew back in Bob Gilbertson's pit. They have been the big surprise this weekend.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in my Ford, let's go for a drive.
It's here, the Ford authorized clearance with big savings on the best-selling cars in America.
A little bit of fun along the way.
What will you save? How about thousands in interest savings on a new Focus or Taurus, both with low 0.9 financing plus 500 to 1,000 cash back. That's 0.9 plus 500 to 1,000 cash back on a Focus or a Taurus. It's a Ford authorized clearance at your local Ford store now.
Kick it up another notch. 1, 4, 9.
Emerald Live, every night at 8 and 11, only on Food Network.
Brought to you by Jewel Food Stores. Fresh to your family from Jewel.
This Tuesday on ESPN Classic, witness boxing history. Two legends. One legendary fight. The 1987 Middleweight Championship. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvelous Marvin Hagler. 9 p.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific, Tuesday, only on ESPN Classic. To get ESPN Classic, call 1-800-CLASSIC today.
Track Fact is brought to you by Suzuki Motorcycles. Here in Denver, the altitude creates a myriad of problems for all the divisions. In the nitro cars, one of them, Cruz, is stopping.
Stopping the car as a driver, you reach for the parachute lever. Normally, you'd feel your head jerk off, just about want to pull out of the helmet. But up here on the mountain here, you don't feel that concussion just because of the thin air. So stopping's a problem up here on the mountain.
Watching our super slow-mo, how little head movement. And remember that Don Garlitz and Joe Amato both suffered detached retinas from the explosion that the chutes create. Now watch right here. Here comes the laundry. And you barely see the head move at all. We're going to commercial break. They're working hard back in John Force's camp, but can Bob Gilbertson pull off one more upset? We'll find out.
Ever wonder what they do back there making burgers? I want to see! If you want to know if your food is made fresh, come to Subway.
Subway's got 4 new Subway Selects, like the tasty Caesar Italian BMT. Subway, eat fresh!
Get ready. Here comes Cool Blue Mach 3. 3 blades for the closest shave in fewer strokes with less irritation. Now with a cool new look. New Cool Blue Mach 3 from Gillette.
Hi, I want the Goodyears you have on sale.
Okay.
And I want free mounting.
Sure.
And free rotation anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And I want the Die-Hard battery, too. For free.
No problem.
Come on.
At Sears Auto Center, all Goodyear tires are on sale, and now buy 4 Goodyear tires and get a free Die-Hard battery. Sears, America's #1 tire retailer.
Is this free?
This is a toe, this is a foot. That's the difference between Lamisil AT spray pump and Lotrimin AF. Lotrimin AF products are indicated to treat athlete's foot on the whole foot. This is only indicated to treat between the toes, so kill athlete's foot on the whole foot with Lotrimin AF.
Hey, there's big news at 7-Eleven. It's the new Big Bite Combo. Delicious Big Bite hot dog made by Oscar Mayer. With chili and cheese. Whatever you want. Ice cold gulp. And a big grab of chips. All for just $1.99. It's a bigger, better summer.
to kick some butt, take some names. It's time for the finals. First up, Antron Brown and Pro Stock Bike. He punched out Brian DeLong, Craig Treble, and Greg Underdahl to make it to the final. On the other side, Angel Savoy looking for victory number 19 to break the tie with Shirley Muldowney. Joe DeSantis, GT Tonglet, and Matt Hines were her victims. And that sets the stage for our first final. And remember, Angel won here last year, so she is the defending race winner. She'll be over in the right-hand lane. And they have done the burnouts, and we are ready to go racing. Angel's 2-2 in career finals over Antron Brown. Dave Reef.
Well, Marty, the record book is actually open to 2 pages. First and most obvious, Angel Savoy, who can surpass Shirley Muldowney in the career win column with number 19. But there's a bookmark on the owner's page, too. If Angel should become the winningest driver in the class for a female, she will also help George Bryce to his 53rd win, a win that will tie him with Byron Hines on the all-time owner's page.
One thing they have learned, George Bryce shared it with us between rounds, they are shifting early. They say it helps lean the motor out. For Antron Brown, they're trying to feed it more fuel. And guess what? Look out, record book, 7:59. That's the Winston suite. They're happy. That's husband Nicky.
59 with a 0. 59 with a 0. You blew it. Are you okay, Angela? All right.
You can hear
it. We'll fix it. It's okay.
Angel said the engine broke. Well, it broke at the right time. A 7:59, saving the best till last. The track temperature dropped from 140 to 120 between the rounds in semifinals and finals. And that is a new track record. 3 times today she has lowered it. Now as she's getting ready, let's go move on to Pro Stock. First up, Kurt Johnson. He took care of business by beating George Marnell, Darrell Alderman, and Ron Krischer. Who's he going to face? Well, the professor and his father. WJ looking for victory number 86 to break the tie. He punched out Mark Powick, B. Gaines, and Mike Edwards. And lane choice goes to Kurt Johnson and Cruz. KJ told me he's making absolutely no changes, and Warren says he's going to get much more aggressive on the clutch.
Yeah, I can believe that. I mean, Warren needs to pick up. Kurt needs to maintain. So going into this final round, you know, you look at the elapsed times of previous round, 7:33 for Kurt, 7:35 for Warren. So, yeah, I would see where he needs to pick up. And, you know, I'm noticing one thing. The track is going to cool off. It's going to be a little bit better. There's cloud cover. And that may help one car. I don't know which one. Both these cars come from the same camp. So this is a toss-up. It could come down to the good old reaction time.
Take a look at the list. Warren Johnson, Bob Glidden tied at 85. Darrell Alderman with 27 in a distant third. Last time these two met in a final was the Keystones back in 2000. KJ won that one. And in finals overall, WJ is 9 up and 3 down to his son. Both taking their time to light the second beam.
Warren had a couple on the line.
And the win goes to Warren Johnson, another for the record book. Number 86, there's Arlene, 7:34. A whole shot win for the professor, Dave.
And it was a win-win either way for Arlene Johnson, but hey, how does it feel to slip on the winningest Pro Stock driver coat of all time?
We're on top of the hill. To do this number 86 win is awesome. GM Goodwrench Service Plus, Pontiac, AC Delco Chevrolet, thank you. And we want to thank all our fans that are here today and all the fans that come to all the races. Thank you.
And to do it, not winning here in the last 10 years. Now Warren Johnson can get on with the business of a 6th championship, Marty.
Hey, what I like about this, Mark, let me interject something. 2 team cars going after. There's no hanky-panky, no funny stuff. They left it up to the drivers, and Warren pulled it out.
Well, and KJ said, if I run another 7:33, I should win. There is the professor. And now we get set for Funny Car. First up, Bob Gilbertson. It's been a dream weekend. Scotty Cannon, Tommy Johnson Jr., and Dean Scusa were his victims. Can he make it one more? Well, it's going to have to be at the expense of John Force. Looking for victory number 97, Johnny Gray, Tony Pedregon, and Ron Capps. fell by the wayside of John's march to his 149th career final. And there he is, the 10-time Winston champion. And it has been another one of those days, and you talked to both teams.
Well, I went over to the Gilbertson team, talked to Bob Gilbertson and his crew chief, Paul Smith. The crew chief for Gilbertson, their game plan is to go after fours. They're not going to fool around and try to run a 510 or 509. They feel the track's going to get better. They're going to try to run 5 flat, 499. Gilbertson's, I'm going to try to take a hunk out of the tree, try to get a little reaction time. Force, believe it or not, is going for about the same elapsed time. They feel it'll take a 5 flat to have a chance to win the race.
Gilbertson ran a 5:05, a 5:10, and a 5:10 on his march to the finals. John Force managed the 1:496, but then he ran a 5:09 and a 5:15. Bill Stevens?
Yeah, just looking at the statistics from today, and as you guys mentioned, elapsed time and reaction time could play heavily into this final round. Bob Gilbertson only has 1/100th of a second disadvantage on average elapsed time today of 5:08 to Force's 5:07. But with reaction time, now we've got a difference, Dave Reed.
Indeed we do. That edge has to go to Bob Gilbertson, who's been solid on the tree all day long. A nitro best 4:68 reaction time in round number 1. Factor in all 3 rounds, his number's 4:83 compared to John Force's 4:98. The conclusion, Paul Smith can provide the same tune-up and Bob Gilbertson can get the same light. This team can't punch out John Force.
Well, Force is 10 up and 1 down against Bob Gilbertson. In fact, the only round that Gilbertson's ever won was at Houston last year. He went on to win that race with the magic strike twice.
Oh, there we go.
Gilbertson almost hits the wall. Force goes up in flames just about at the finish line and runs a 5:22. He was there for the taking again. Dave Reef?
Austin Coyle, doesn't matter how you color it up. It's career win number 97, but susceptibility, well, doesn't matter now.
Well, the numbers are good, you know. The luck takes a factor in all of this, and racing up here on the mountain sure is a struggle. And golly, maybe if we hadn't dropped a cylinder, we'd have smoked the tires. Who knows? But glad to win.
John Force's 4th win, and I don't think many of them championships had a lot to do with luck.
So 3 down, 1 to go. Top fuel. First up, Doug Coletta. His victims today included Joe Harley, Tony Schumacher, and Team Winston's Gary Selzy. Looking for his 4th victory of the year for Larry Dixon. John Smith, Paul Romine, and Doug Herbert fell by the wayside on his march to the final in the Miller Lite Dragster. So there is Dick LaHaye, and for Doug Coletta and his team, they're 7 up and 6 down over Larry Dixon in their career. Doug has 8 career wins. Dixon has 12. If Dixon can win, he would pass Mike Dunn on the top fuel list and tie Eddie Hill with number 13.
Marty, we talked about all those big numbers in the funny car final round, and right as they were staging, I almost said, if they don't smoke the tires, that's going to be the key, and sure enough, and I'm looking at this final round as being the same thing. The car that doesn't smoke the tires is going to have a really good chance to win.
Well, here's another statistic to think about in the points chase. If Doug Coletta wins, he narrows his gap back to 3rd to Kenny Bernstein in 1st to 157. If Larry Dixon can win, the points lead is cut to 3 between 1st and 2nd. Dave Reef?
Marty, let's analyze this class much like we did funny car, starting with elapsed time where both drivers have 482s today, but factoring in all 3 runs in which Doug got down all 3 times, his average elapsed time has been a 483 compared to a 498 for Larry Dixon. That's 0.15 of a second edge to Doug and to Connie Coletta. But we haven't yet factored in reaction time yet, Bill.
Exactly right, Dave Reef, and I'll tell you, Larry Dixon is a guy who works on reaction time on the porta tree a lot, but you know what? He is not the big guy in reaction time in top fuel today. Doug Coletta has a .485 to a .494 advantage. Average reaction time today. Coletta's been good on the tree all year long, and Cruz, as a nitro driver yourself, you've got to be impressed with guys that are in the 480s and 490s.
Oh, Coletta is very impressive. He just races his own race, and he opens that loud pedal just before the other guy pretty much on a regular basis. That could come into a factor here in a final.
Coletta goes up in smoke and the points battle is down to 3. Larry Dixon, a 484 at 298, Dave Reed.
And what did the numbers just prove to us? Absolutely nothing, as Dick LaHaye receives congratulations from the Snake as they now pull to within 3. Dick, tremendous day to be up here on the mountain and really make this points chase interesting now.
Well, I mean, we're thrilled about it, you know, and anytime you win anything, it's great. And to win up here, it's so hard to do, and the guys are just great. I'm thrilled.
The swing has just begun.
We're going to be back to talk to these guys. We've got to take a commercial break. Don't go away. We'll talk to all 4 winners here at Denver.
Here at Cooper Tires Test Track, they're developing some pretty impressive tires.
Okay, next car.
Record time, Mr. Palmer. Cooper Tires, drive on.
Mopar, great parts for these vehicles and yours. That's the Mopar difference.
People rave about the fun they had. All the good days and friendly faces. And good times all around. And you wonder, did they just take a vacation? Or just get back from dinner? A great night out that feels like a holiday. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Bantamweight fight. Mark Johnson versus Arturo Valenzuela. Tuesday night fight. 10 p.m. Tuesday on ESPN2.
Today's Speed World event, final eliminations of the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals, is being brought to you by Cooper Tires. A lot of mileage for the money. Cooper Tires, drive on. And by Mopar, parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealerships that sell and install them. That's the Mopar difference. And you're looking at Clear Creek just outside of Denver. Let's take a look now at our Mopar winner circle. We'll tell you the points. Larry Dixon trails Kenny Bernstein by 3. John Force has a 407-point lead. Warren Johnson plus 112. And Angel 72 up on Antron Brown. Dave Reed?
Well, Marty, let's talk to the winners and start in the record books. This is the NHRA Winston winningest female of all time. How does that feel, Angel Savoy?
Better than I ever expected. I came up the end of the track and they had a big sign with my picture and what you just said, and I just burst out into tears. I couldn't believe it. My bike blew up 200 feet before the finish line, so it was like we weren't even supposed to win. But the Lord has blessed me more than I can possibly imagine in every way that I can imagine. I even have new angel stickers on my motorcycle, and everything seems to be working.
Let's dump on over now to Warren Johnson, who got his first win in Pro Stock in 1982. Now in 2001, you are the winningest Pro Stock driver of all time. How does that feel?
Well, it's something that you don't ever really think about. You think about winning the rounds and then hopefully winning a race and then hopefully winning a championship. The number of wins, I've always said, is not important. It's the rounds that you win that is really important. And we couldn't have done this without General Motors and Goodrich Service Plus and Pontiac and Oldsmobile in the past. They're the ones that really deserve this credit.
And in Pro Stock, both drivers extend their points lead, Bill.
Well, everybody's been talking about how many wins they've gotten in their life, but you just got your first win on the mountain. I'll bet it feels great.
Oh, boy, I love coming to this town, but I hate racing here. You know, we can never do well, but Dick LaHaye in our corner, I mean, he owns this mountain. He's pretty good, and I'm just glad Miller Lite, you know. And, God, I can't even believe we won this race.
You did? And you're only 3 points out of first.
Yeah, no, that's strong. We got to wait till November to see how the point still works out, but right now that's good for us.
He's sneaking up on Kenny Bernstein and you. You're just pulling away from everybody.
Well, I like that. You know, Fidal Machine joined us, and AAA joined us this year with Gary Dencham. We got a lot of budget. We fight to win, and we got 3 great teams headed by Austin Coyle and Bernie, and Jimmy Prock and all these guys, John Medlin. It's unbelievable. Dickie Venables, how they can read this racetrack, make a decision. Right before the final, they came over and they said, the rumors is Gilbertson's going for it. Cole said, we're not. We're just going A to B because we're not really there for us. We'll just see if we can get it, and they gave it to us.
And for the 97th time in his career, he went all the way.
He certainly did, Bill. And my closing comments from you, Cruz?
Well, Larry Dixon has just said it best. He's tightened up the points race here. We thought Bernstein was running away with it, and Force is running away with it. But, you know, there's going to be some guys that are going to try to nip him. But like you said, the key there is they gave it to him again.
Well, the celebration is about to begin down at the starting line area. The champagne bottle caps are popping, and there we go. And a lot of history made today. Angel with career win number 19, number 86 for WJ, and, of course, 97 for John Force. Every time he wins, it's another record. Don't forget, next week, the Prolong Northwest National, Saturday qualifying, 2 shows, one at 7 o'clock Eastern time, another at 10 o'clock Eastern, then Sunday final eliminations, 6 o'clock Eastern, all from Seattle. We hope to see you either there or right here on ESPN2. That's going to do it for us. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Nextel is coming up next. For Cruz Petragon, Bill Stevens, and Dave Reed, I'm Marty Reed. Thanks so much for joining us here at the Mopar Parts Mile High Nationals at Vandermeer Speedway. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. We'll see you next week from Seattle.